How's everyone? Oh, I have my acid reflux like always. How's everyone today? Hopefully you're doing good. I'm doing alright. Sorry I wasn't live the last 2 days. I was busy and then I was anxious, so. But I'm doing better than I was yesterday. Let me open up the game. Where is it? There it is. Hi, I was about to call you Bunny because I was reading it. Hi, Jeremy. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I need to ask, what did you mean by fate? I don't. Someone just told me to play Fate, so I added it to the suggestion list. So I think it's a visual. I think it's just a visual novel. I think. I'll have to ask from for details. So Fate Stay Night? I guess so. G Fata. Hi Anya, how are you? Oh no, my subscription ended. Oh no. That was my first visual novel. Oh wow, I didn't know that. It's cool. Nice. Yeah, I know. I also played Amori. Yeah, I've heard so much about Amori. I think we're gonna play that and then Fate and then Clanad. Seems like our plans. Ugh. Ivy, stay with me. Clanans is the one I never experienced. Oh, nice. Are you alright? Oh, thank goodness you're awake. How's your head? Can you see me? What? You had me scared silly there. I thought I might have lost you for good. I'm really glad you're alive. Okay, talk to you later. I plan to finish this someday. Oh, okay. I'll see you later then, Jeremy. Where am I? And who is this man? What was I doing? You feeling up for any food? I can whip up some porridge for you right quick. Oh, I was in the forest. It was raining. Before that, I was at the mansion. I feel sick, like there's something in my stomach. No, thank you. I don't want anything. You really should have something. You need to keep up your energy. Unless you want to conk out again in an hour. Sounds good to me. I'd rather never wake up at all. You're not in the highest of spirits either, it seems. All the more reason to get something warm in you. Please have something. I've got some milk on the fire. I bet you can handle a cup of that. If you start losing all hope once, the cold gets deep in you, reaches down to your core. Take me at my word, please. Just one sip. You'll feel like a whole new gal. A heart-wrenchingly pleasant aroma wafted with the steam from the wooden cup. Succumbing to the sweet smell, I lifted the cup to my lips for just one sip, and the warmth that spread through me brought tears to my eyes. Perhaps there really was a kindness in the world. A ripple spread across the surface of the milk. I heard a gentle sigh come from the man behind me, after which he said with a smile, "You should take it easy for the day." I had lost the willpower to think about anything. I didn't care what happened to me or why I was here. who he was or even where this was. I spent the whole day in bed, just watching the sun slowly slide across the wooden floor. Felt like I was somewhere far, far away. At times I felt like a lost child, and at times like a sickly old woman on her deathbed. Watching the sun travel gave me a renewed awareness of the passage of time, and the fact that each moment that went by was another moment I was alive. I realized then that it had been a while since I had gotten more than a brief glimpse at any sunlight. It almost surprised me how colorful the world seemed beneath the sun's light, something I didn't get much of in the dark mansion. Only after losing something do you realize how much you need it. Warm milk, the light shining through the window, a bed that smelled like springtime. With those three things, my heart slowly began to defrost, and I started to regain the willpower to stand on my own 2 feet. Thank you for everything. Sure you're in any shape to be on your feet? Yes, I'm fine. I'm not hurt. You look pretty beat up to me. But you look a lot better now, and you're talking more clearly than before. You've been very generous, despite having never met me before, and for that you have my deepest gratitude. Without your help, I would no longer be in this world. I don't deserve your thanks. You are now alive because God's guidance made it so. God came across you early this morning as I was heading into the forest to hunt. Imagine my surprise seeing a young lady like you on the ground in my path. What were you doing in the forest? You don't have to tell me if you'd rather not. Everyone's got their own share of personal problems. You're not going to demand that I talk? I have no reason to force you to do anything. You look like you'd been to hell and back. What? I could tell just looking at you. Now then, do you have somewhere you can go? Somewhere to go? Of course I don't. I can't go back to the capital or the mansion. If not, then why don't you stay here? Here? Sure, it's a small village. We're self-sufficient. We all help each other out. No tax-hungry lords know we built the place up either, so we keep everything we make. We're pretty remote as a result, and the harvest isn't fantastic, but I'm sure you'll find it comfortable here. The rest of the villagers will be glad to have you. What do you say? Sorry, Mom. What I'm about to do might make the rest of the family's lives more difficult, but I don't have to feel any more pain. If I really wouldn't be inconveniencing you, if it's really okay, then yes. I would like to stay here. That's great to hear. I was loath to send you back out there in your current condition. I haven't introduced myself, have I? The name's Amity. Just one lowly villager of many. I'm Giselle. Giselle, that's a beautiful name. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a vacant house. Clean it up and you can call it home. I couldn't possibly ask for that. I doubt others would like it if I just took a house for myself. That shouldn't be an issue. I'm the village representative, more or less. Representative? Like the chief? Only a name, though. As I mentioned, we're not in any lord's map, so I don't have much representing to do. The only reason I ended up in charge is because I'm a bit more educated than anyone else. It's a long time ago, but I understudied with a priest. OMG, is this the blonde-haired boy? No, I think that was a different time, but still. Because of that, I'm familiar with the Bible's teachings. So rather than a chief, the people of the village look at me more like a priest. Wouldn't be much fun if the church found out about that, haha. They're liable to think I'm acting unordained. Then, you believe in God? That's quite the question. Of course God exists. He's always watching over us. That's why you survived, because he protected you. I understand that your faith can waver when you're going through times of tribulation, but those are the times when it's most important you keep sight of who you are, right? Now you get some rest. Tomorrow I'll show you around the village. Thank you. I truly mean it. I really sincerely appreciate everything. Don't mention it, Giselle. This is your village now too, so you don't need to act like a stranger anymore. Okay. So he's Amadi. He seems like a nice man. Maybe here I can live in peace. It'll be alright, I'm sure. Yeah. I wasn't silly enough to believe my life would be perfect, but I had found a tiny fragment of my lost hope. While I had once been ready to give up on absolutely everything, I was starting to feel like I might be able to smile again eventually. Like I might be able to get back on my feet. And in order to do that, I had to cast aside my past once more. Forget everything that happened to the Bollinger estate and everything that happened at the mansion. Forget about Michael. There was one niggling curiosity, though I couldn't shake, something he had said before I left. My very existence threatens to tear down that house. The cursed young son of the Bollinger family, Michael, who made a pact with the devil, who is supposed to be dead but is very much alive. What did he meant by that? Why would people think he was dead? No, I don't care about him one bit. Forget it. Forget everything. The house was, as it always had been, wrapped in a thick silence. Giselle's shadow, which had been lurking in the halls for about a month, was nowhere to be found. She hadn't come back since running off that day. My seeker was still safe. Her efforts had, in the end, all been for naught. Back to the way things were. But despite my mind telling me that it was for the best, I felt a kind of guilt seething in the back of my chest, and any attempts to figure out why only made me feel worse. But the look on her face then. Please, hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't sniffing around or trying to bring you harm in any way. Is that really her just putting on an act because I revealed her scheming? She was screaming though. She looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand away. I'm not falling for anything. I feel like I know that frenzied panic. Something doesn't add up. Be quiet. Silence, please. My head was pounding beyond belief. Couldn't stand anything. This world, the creature I was, the witches whispering, the archangel looking down upon me seemed to be cackling from somewhere far out of reach. So for whatever it was worth to escape from his gaze, I once again drew the drapes over the stained glass window. Whoa, it's someone new. Hey, where are you from? You gonna be here long? Are ya? We hardly ever get visitors here, so they're downright awestruck by you. You'll be getting a lot of attention for a little, but please don't let it get to you. No, that's just fine. Do my best to get along with everyone. Haha, got a spark in you that wasn't there yesterday. Anything in particular that cheered you up? In particular, once I decided I was gonna stay here, I just sort of started feeling better about things. And I figured I couldn't stay gloomy forever. I see, glad to hear it. Hee, and it's all thanks to you, Amity. Keep thanking me like that, my cheeks might get stuck red. In any event, I said I'd show you around yesterday, so how about we do that? Lead the way. That said, we're a modest little village of about 100. Everyone knows everyone. For that size, it looks pretty big to me. Amity taking the lead, we walk through the village, passing by crop fields and milk cows, presumably shared amongst the villagers. Houses were scattered across an area that seemed far too large for only 100 people. Actually getting a better look at them, the buildings were dilapidated, looking more like ruins than residents. Once upon a time, this was a city rather than a village. When your ancestors lived here? Oh no, we were drifters fortunate enough to come across some decent looking land, so we stuck around. How do you know what it was like before then? There are a few stone tablets left behind, based on what we were able to extract from their texts. This area used to be a large city with a booming economy rivaling that of the capital. There weren't hundreds, but thousands of people bustling about. Merchants came from afar in droves. It was much like how the capital is now. Actually, this area was more open to foreigners. People of all different races speaking as many different languages. It was evidently quite the sight and sound. I had no idea there was a city here. It's what happens when a place is wiped from history. Couldn't tell you how reliable the tablets are, but if you take them at their word, the city lost everything in just a single week. What? People, crops, livestock, all dead. Maybe it was a natural disaster, a famine, a plague, I can't say for sure. This is what the tablet said, though. We've been cursed by the witch. That was creepy. Cursed by the witch. Look over there, you see that river? There used to be a magnificent bridge crossing it, but there's hardly anything left of it. If you continue along the path beyond the fallen bridge, there's a forest. That's where I found you. The deeper parts of the forest are so dense you can't see anything but tree trunks and leaves. It's an eerie place wrapped in a cloud of darkness. If you make it through that, there's a mansion which is said to be cursed. The witch who supposedly destroyed this city lives in the house deep in the forest. She's been there for years and years, and she casts her curse on anyone who goes near it. The city was so large that the mansion was actually in its borders. My guess was that the bridge was built to mark the road leading to it. And as you can see, the bridge is gone and the house is still standing there practically in ruins. But the mansion alone looks just as it did back then. The witch living in the mansion goes by the name Morgana. According to the records, someone by that same name was executed in this area for witchcraft, and even in death she continues to bear her grudge against mankind. Who knows how much of it is true, though? Truth or fiction, the story has taken root in this region. The city's history may be lost, but the legend of the witch continues to be told. People have a tendency to keep stories alive that scare them. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. No, I'm fine. You're best staying away from the mansion in the forest at any rate. There's no saying what might happen if curiosity gets the better of you. Better safe than sorry if you ask me. Aside from the mansion, this is a peaceful village as you'll find. I don't know where you came from, but I'm glad you didn't end up wandering there. I know all about the mansion who lives there. I was there after all, with Michael, for a full month. But I don't remember any cursed witch, just a man with a bone-chilling glare. Maybe the rumors about a witch living there were spread by him. Perhaps even his family. I could see them doing that. But none of that matters to me anymore. I'm never going anywhere near that house again. The witches curse Michael. They're nothing to me. With nowhere else to go, I ended up in this small village. There is no denying that there is very little to speak of here, but I found peace in that nothingness. I couldn't have been more blessed that such a kind man had found me and welcomed me into his village. The village ran entirely on its own crops and livestock. They had no currency, merely bartered among themselves. Coming from a merchant's family, everything felt so new. I had never plowed a large plot of land, milked a cow, or used a loom before. At first I wasn't sure what to think, being such a departure from my lifestyle in the capital. But over time I grew more comfortable with my new life, and then the people of the village started thinking of me as one of them. Hi Golden Sorcerer, how are you? Come on Giselle, come play with us. We're playing hide and seek today. Can, I'm sorry, I'm spinning yarn. You can do that later. Come on, play with us. Stop! Don't pull on my skirt. Oh, alright, you win. When I'm done with this, I'll join you. And no ditching, we'll be at the square, okay? Got it, see you there. Haha, the kids have taken quite a liking to you. Ah, Amity. You think so? I'm doing well, thank you. Hope you are too. Yeah, I'm doing better, thank you. Yeah, sorry you guys, I was absent the past few days. I was really busy one day, and then the next day I was just very anxious. But I'm feeling much better than yesterday. They've been incredibly lively since you arrived. Children are more sensitive than adults. Sensitive? They're very perceptive of how others are feeling. If you begrudgingly play along, they'll pick up on that quickly. You like children, and that's a wonderful thing. There's not a good woman in the world who dislikes children. Why, thank you. Oh, that's good. I hope it all gets better. Oh, thank you. Just one of those days, you know. I don't think it's so much that I like them. It's as if I'm kind of a big kid myself. I genuinely enjoy hide and seek, but that's not gonna earn me any points. I like kids too. Watching them, it gives me faith that this world has a bright future. A bright future. I'd never looked at them that way. They seem to like you quite a bit too, Amity. Haha, thanks. Though I'd rather give my affection to my own kids. Oh, you have children? Oh, heavens no, I thought that was obvious enough. I'm talking about the future. Oh, I see. But knowing you, Amity, I'm sure you'll find someone right for you and have kids of your own in no time. It's not that easy, sadly. Even in such a small village, there are no ladies who'd take interest in me. You don't give yourself enough credit. I'm fully confident you'll find someone soon enough. Do you really think so? Absolutely. Then perhaps you could be that person. What, pardon? I won't pressure you into it, of course, but I think it would be marvelous to have you in my life in a bigger way. But it's a little too soon for me to think about settling down like that. It is pretty sudden, I admit. Take all the time you need to consider it. Alright. I have to go play with the kids now. Have fun. I wonder if he really meant it. Amity is a nice fellow, and I'm sure living here would be wonderful, but I can't help feeling something isn't right here. Uh-oh. Why am I thinking about him now of all times? The man has no redeemable qualities, not one. As it turned out, Amity was serious about his proposition, and he brought it up every time we ran into each other. Unable to give him an answer, I found myself constantly apologizing to him. Soon winter started giving way to spring. On a day, the air had still had a brisk winter bite, and budding seedlings battled to break through the earth. The seams holding the village together began to come loose. Oh dear. That day, the villagemen were gathered in the square talking. They all had stern looks on their faces. It was clear something had happened. I obviously couldn't stick my head in, so I waited until they were done and caught Amity. While it was rather awkward, I was still more comfortable asking him for information than anyone else. Actually, with a dejected look on his face, he started explaining. A lord found out about this village. What? He said he's going to place this land under his rule, meaning he'll start collecting taxes. In addition, he's also demanding we pay 5 years' worth of back taxes for our unauthorized use of the land. What? That's ridiculous. Yes, it most certainly is. We obviously don't have the means to pay 5 years' taxes. There's no reason for him to take over this village at all. We're completely isolated from the surrounding area after all. But if we resist, he could send soldiers. It doesn't matter how absurd his claim to the village is. We have no choice but to comply. That's terrible. What are we gonna do then? We're gonna do as Lord demands. 5 years' taxes will have to be paid in installments. Some of the men suggested we abandon the land and find somewhere else. But it would take time to cultivate land and plant new crops. It's no trivial task. We'll just have to make do with these changes. We'll use more of the land to grow and try to be more efficient. Will you help in the fields? Of course. The village is my home now too. Thank you, Giselle. It will be difficult, but if we all pitch in, I'm sure we can get through this. I thought the same thing. If we all work together, we can make it through this rough patch. But the collection of taxes brought more than just the burden for everyone to share. It brought emotional strain and conflict to the village too. Your family has more hands to work in the fields. I have a sickly child. You expect him to work any harder than he is? I know you're hiding grain in your cellar. You have more than us. Let us keep a little grain. You have more. No, you have more. You both have more than us. When their comfortable lives fell under attack, the villagers' top priority became their own property. The cooperation was only temporary. Before long, everyone became a threat. The negative energy only built on itself, its growth accelerating like a boulder rolling down a hill. And it wasn't long before their sights fell on me, the outsider. Come on, get moving. Ow, stop that. Why are you doing this? I'll stop once you've told us everything. Told you what? One morning, a man dragged me from my house and took me to the square. There, the entire rest of the village was gathered, all eyes on me. What? What's this all about? Oh, don't play stupid. We know it was all you. What was me? The thief. Amity? From the crowd appeared someone I knew quite well, the ever-affable village representative, the man who had saved my life, but in his eyes now, I thought you were better than that, was contempt, anger, and scorn. So many different shades of negativity. I recognized what I saw in his glare immediately as someone who had been subjected to those looks before. But why? For what reason was he looking at me like that? I couldn't make sense of what was happening. So I just stood there stupefied. There's been a rise in reports of people having things stolen lately. The village is too small to attract bandits, though. Since the lords now demand to pay him taxes, even the smallest item loss can have dramatic impact on a family's living conditions. What you've done is no joke. Wait just a second, I haven't stolen anything. Why do you think You've been seen in the act. What? So long as there is testimony against you, your guilt is assured. Who says they saw me? I swear I didn't do anything. They're obviously lying. You're the one who's lying. You've been playing us for fools this whole time. Everything was fine until you showed up. We managed not to get found until you showed up. No, that's not my fault. Giselle, apologize to the village and return what you've taken. Amity, don't you believe me? There were multiple witnesses. Several different people saw you stealing. Known these people long enough to be family. Trust them like family. They're not liars. But no, they're framing me. I didn't steal anything, I swear. Framing you? Now you want to put this on us, woman? Unbelievable. Have you gotten we welcomed you into this village? Amity, please believe me. You of all people should believe me. Been avoiding me of late, haven't you? What? Because you had something to hide, correct? No, why? What other reason could you have to avoid me? Why? How could he say these things? It's peanut butter bunny time. Hello, Strange. How are you? Why won't he believe me? Hello, doing good. It's too hot. It is hot out, huh? Now return the things you've stolen. I can't. I never stole anything. How am I supposed to return something I don't have? I see, so you've already moved the stolen goods. She said she doesn't have them anymore, folks. How should we deal with this? Rough her up till she talks. Yeah, she's not getting off that easy. Give us back our property. Why is this happening to me? The harsh new rulership has driven these people mad. I need to get away from this village quick. Restrain her. No, get your hands off me. Have you forgotten everything we've done for you? All that matters is that you don't have to suffer, is that it? I didn't do anything. Take her to my house. We'll make her tell us everything. No, stop. You've all gone mad. Please come to your senses. With men on all four sides of me, I was dragged into Amity's house. He sat coolly in a chair and they shoved me to my knees before him. I'll ask you this one more time, Giselle. Where'd you put the things you stole? And I'll keep giving you the same answer. I didn't take anything from anyone. Please believe me. Do you swear with God as your witness? I do, I swear with all my heart. You don't actually believe her, do you, Amity? She not only sold us out to a lord, she's now threatening to make our lives downright impossible. Again, that's just a coincidence. Listen to me, Amity. Thus saith the Lords of Hosts, the woman hath committed 3 sins. She has lied, she has stolen, she has betrayed her fellow man. Why are you doing this, Amadi? You were such a good man. I am deeply disappointed in you, Giselle. As much as I don't want to do this, I have to get the truth from you. Amadi? Of course, why didn't I see it? I'm still just an outsider to them. Why would he believe a stranger's word over the word of the village, his family? The water. What? A man set a wooden well bucket on the floor in front of me. It wasn't clean water from the well though, but grimy, murky wastewater. I reflexively turned my head from the stench, but a man behind me grabbed me by the hair. Before I had a chance to realize what was happening, the world around me went brown. I struggled with all my might to break free, but my arms were tied by my back, and I didn't have the strength to overpower the man holding my head down. Reflexively grasping for air, a stream of filthy water poured into my mouth. Pull her out. I know, this is so sad. We get nothing if she dies. Put her back in. Keep at it until she decides she's ready to talk. No. How unsightly. To think I even considered marrying this woman. Stop! You can stop whenever you want, Giselle. You just have to tell us the truth. Please. Help. Stop. Was given no time to rest. My head shoved into the bucket, then pulled out just long enough for me to steal a breath before going back in over and over again. Not a person in the room objected to the abuse I was receiving. Prayed for a good harvest with these people. They taught me how to use a loom, something I never touched before. We had laughed together, lived together. They were normal people, perfectly ordinary, kind, helpful, friendly people, not at all cruel or inhumane. But now they burned with a frenzy that overshadowed all my memories of them, and every gargle, gasp, and grunt they got from me fueled that fire. Dozens of eyes laced with madness stared down upon me, rejoicing at my suffering. My consciousness was slipping away from me. Thought I could hear laughing and chattering, but it all passed through my ears as mere noise, nothing I could make sense of. Stay with me. Minty. Oh, thank goodness you're awake. Wait, what was I just doing? Oh, right, I was on the forest on the verge of death, and Amity found me, and we almost lost valuable manpower there. We were just discussing what to do to you, Giselle, and we decided to make you village property. No, he didn't save me. If you agree to work for us, we'll put this whole nasty mess behind us. You may be worthless in the fields and terrible with the loom, but there's plenty you can help with. What are you gonna make me do? You like to get your hands dirty. Considering I found you half dead in the forest, I doubt the rest of you is any cleaner. Amity. Seems we've come to an agreement. I'll keep watch over her starting today, to make sure she stays in line and doesn't steal anything else. Dirty, stays in line. The way they're looking at me. They didn't have to spell it out. No. Anything but that. Please have mercy. If you're begging for mercy, that means you know you've done something wrong. Let's see. There is one way, Giselle. What? Give back what you stole naturally. But if you're going to insist that's not possible, then bring us of something of equal value. And if you can't do that, then your life belongs to the village. The men were cackling. They knew I couldn't do it, and they were enjoying watching me squirm. Take your pick, Giselle. Something of equal value. If I can get that, then you'll set me free. In that moment, a little bit of darkness bubbled up in my heart. Something maleficent whispered in my ear. If you are in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. There's a village not far from here. Trade it for food, then make your way to a larger town. I think I know where you can get something worth money. The mansion in the forest has some valuable furniture in it. Oh god, what did I become? You can steal some of that and sell for good money. Such a despicable woman. You mean the cursed mansion? You expect us to go there? Are you out of your mind? Anyone goes near that house is killed by the witch's curse. There is no witch living there. There is no curse. So what do you know about the mansion? I lived there for a while. Well, for a month. You what? Son of a noble lives there. He's human, he's alone. A noble? What's a noble boy doing this far from the city? I presume he was banished there. Sent to the mansion from the capital to act as a servant. There's plenty of value in the house. Shelves lined with books. Should be more than enough to pay for the lord's 5 years' worth of taxes. Is what you're saying true? I would not lie. His bewilderment spread through Amity's house. I was unable to look at anything but the floor. I couldn't stop trembling. To protect myself, I had sold out Michael. You swear there's just a single man living in that house? Yes, it's only him. All right. It turns out you're lying, you'll pay. Okay, everyone, you heard her. Tell all the young men to get ready. We're going up to the mansion in the forest. And just to be safe, make sure everyone brings something they can use as a weapon. And you, Giselle, you're coming with us. You'll be leading the way. Listen to me. Don't think about trying to run, right? On the cusp of springtime, I found myself trekking through the dreary forest I had thought I would never set foot in again. How had I ended up here? How come I could never manage to avoid getting myself in these situations? Grads, I need to resubscribe. So true. And who would have guessed that my reason for returning to the mansion would be to loot it? I prayed for God to show even a little mercy and ensure that Michael wasn't around. Though I knew the chances of that happening were almost zero. After several hours of walking, we broke through the thick woods and the mansion appeared before us. Like its surroundings, the house was bleak and uninviting. Even the midday sun seemed disinterested in shining its light upon it. Despite on the surface there not being much of anything impressive about it, the entire mob stood speechless before its overwhelming presence. But the men had weapons, and they were fueled by avarice, which gave them courage to approach this place they wouldn't normally otherwise. Door won't open. I think it's barred from the inside. It seems someone really does live in this cursed place. I am honestly surprised, even more so that it's not a witch, but just a noble. The door's old, we could break it down. Yeah, let's bust it down. Hold on, there's no need to be barbaric. Do you even consider knocking on the door like normal people? You sound like a band of thieves. Huh, that's something else coming from you. Who do you think proposed this plan, Giselle? You. Alright, men, you ready for lives of luxury? Break down that door. Stop it. It's the damn nobles who make our lives so hard. They deserve to be robbed. Break it down. Please stop it. Break it down, break it down, break it down. Stop. All their repressed emotions detonated. They battered the door again and again, and in a few minutes' time it was on the verge of collapse. They shouted and cheered and hooted like madmen. Oops. As my peaceful life came crumbling down around me, going lightheaded from the anxiety, I squeezed my eyes shut, unable to bear it any longer, when the deep groan of a door opening echoed through the forest. It would seem you're not aware whose house you're trying to break into. The world went silent, like time had come to a stop. No one could manage to say a word, only stare at the man who had appeared from within the mansion. Surely you knew what this place is called. Beneath the dazzling midday sun, he had bone-chillingly alabaster skin and long, nearly translucent pale hair. So surely he came prepared for whatever he would find, and his eyes were like two blazing infernos staring out across the mob. A demon, someone muttered, probably unconsciously. He did indeed look as something out of this world. Ah, it's a demon. The rumors about this place were true. The cursed demon lives there. Demon him, Michael? No, he's not cursed. Indeed, I am cursed. The witch's curse is real. I have inherited it in its entirety, as well as her purpose. A witch, a demon, a spirit impure. Call me whatever you wish, for the truth shall not change. I carry within me an eternal curse. Behold my flesh, pale as the moon. No red blood flows beneath the skin, as it does yours. Behold my hair, utterly devoid of any color. Offered up to the devil as part of our pact. Behold these crimson eyes, the symbol of the lifeblood spilt at my hands. Ah! I shall bring calamity upon you as the witch of legend. Never-ending famine, plague, catastrophe, suffering for generations, till the moment of your death, so you shall regret ever coming near this place. No, have mercy! It was that woman. She brought us here, tempted us with promises of wealth, deceived us, told us to pillage this house. We're innocent. Amity, please have mercy on us. Give her to me then, as an offering. Absolutely, she's yours. Torture her however you please. I have one more condition. You never come near this house again. If you so much as consider it, you will all die by my curse. I swear we won't return. Run, get out of here. Without so much as a glance back, the villagers scrambled into the forest, and Amity, the man who had rescued me that night, went right along with them. Is there kindness in the world? I wasn't sure what to think anymore. Don't think I'm helping you. His voice rained down on me, but I couldn't lift my head. There was such a gaping void in my chest. I had no idea what questions I should be asking anymore. What I should be angry about. What I should be sad about. Not even the first clue. Look at me. Look at me, Giselle. Tell me, is it true you returned the mansion to plunder it? That you brought those men here and robbed me of my valuables? Answer me, Giselle. Yes, it's true. Persuaded them to steal from you. Are you really so desperate for money that you resorted to looting? Just how low will you go? Not only did you seduce my father, not only did you go digging around for information about me, you brought the mob to this house. They were armed too. Were you trying to get me killed? Answer me, Giselle. Not even going to defend yourself? Your scheme failed, so you're retreating into silence? Oh, for God's sake, you sicken me. I'm done with you. I'm done. Leave this place, and you never show your face here again. As he shouted at me, I stared into his fierce red eyes. Somewhat inappropriate thought crossed my mind. Give her to me, yes, please. Hello, beautiful bunny. I hope you're having a wonderful night. Thank you, Kathy. I hope you're doing well, too. Oh, so we can't get emotional like anyone else. My heart stripped raw and cast out into the sea, finally sunk deep enough to be crushed by the pressure. Me. What? If you want me gone, then kill me. You can do that, can you? You can use your kills to kill me, can't you? You can do it right here. Use your power. Take my life. And if you don't want to do that, stab me with your knife. Kill me, kill me, kill me. What? I'm done. I can't take it. I'm through with this whole world. No one will believe anything I say. No one cares one bit about how I feel. They'd all just walk over me laughing. Why? Tell me why. Why is this happening to me? I never stole anything. Oh, what are you talking about? I tried my best to look happy. I thought that everything would work out if I kept smiling. I believed that would make things better, but nothing ever got better. Whatever did I do? Tell me, what did I do? But you... All I ever did was believe. I tried my best to survive, to always wear a smile, but if everything's gonna be my fault, if I have to deal with that for the rest of my life, then I'm done. I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to live in this world anymore. Calm down, please. I don't follow what you're saying. My understanding is that you desired money, so you brought that mob, and before that you used my father. You wouldn't believe me even if I told you the real story. You'll take your family's word over mine. You don't have any idea what I went through there. How hard it was just to keep myself together. What? I never wanted riches. All I wanted was a decent enough wage to allow my family to live comfortably. That's all I wanted, but that man, he used my family against me. He made me... forced me to. He R-worded me. What? Again and again, no matter how much I resisted, he wouldn't stop. Again and again, he threatened me, beat me, cut me with a knife. Over and over and over again. What? My father? R-worded you? No one would believe me. I did nothing wrong. You don't believe me either, do you? So I'm done. I don't want this body anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. I can't take it anymore. Help me. Please set me free. Kill me already. Kill me. Use your curse and kill me. Kill me! Ah! Give me a moment. I need time to process this. You can do it, can't you? Then kill me already. Kill me now. Kill me now. Kill me, damn it. Give me time so we can talk this through. I want to hear everything from the beginning. Inside. Let's go inside and talk. The light hurts my eyes. That was a door I may have best let stay shut. Not knowing the truth would have been so much easier. I wouldn't have been made to shudder in disgust, hearing about the crimes in my own family. But if I hadn't opened that door, I would have lost everything. That day, after far too long, finally let myself see the person in Giselle. Giselle didn't recover for some time after I managed to get her inside. Unsure what else I could do for her, I had her sit before the fireplace and waited in silence as she sobbed. I had no idea what one was supposed to say to someone who was crying. Was it normal to offer them a warm drink? I didn't know. I did know I needed to reflect on the things she had said outside and try to make sense of them. And from there, calm myself down and prepare for the conversation we were to have, as unpleasant as I was sure it would be. A considerable amount of time later. You better open your ears now, dum-dum, Michael. Giselle's sobbing drew to a stop, and oppressive silence stepping in to take its place. For far longer than was comfortable, the only sound we heard was the gentle crackling of the fire. I had to say something. I knew that, but I didn't know how to begin. I knew nothing about having an honest face-to-face discussion with someone about the things we were thinking and feeling. That didn't change anything. I had to do it, even if down the road lay truths I would be happier not seeing. Giselle, could you please tell me what what was done to you at my father's home, and how you ended up coming to the mansion, and what happened after you left? I would like to know everything from start to finish. Will you believe what I tell you? You never so much as gave me the time of day before. And I very much doubt you will find what I have to say agreeable. Will you still believe me even then? Believe my word, a stranger's word, over your family with the people of the village? I cannot yet say. I must hear what you have to say to make that decision. I suppose that might be better than you saying you'll believe me unconditionally. Alright, I'll tell you everything. Just know that nothing I say is a lie. Understood. Giselle methodically recounted her tale for me. She told me about how she accepted an offer from the Bollingers to work as an abigail to earn money for her family, of how my father, Antonin, had other plans for her, of the things he did to her. She spoke dryly, simply putting words to each event, one after the other. I had already seen how she felt deep down, though. I had heard her pain screams, which were undoubtedly genuine. I didn't think she was trying to deceive me. That was the sound of old wounds being torn open, and even I could see that. Perhaps my own experiences were what allowed me to see it. Regardless, I realized too late. I should have seen it sooner. She described it all mechanically and remained detached from what had happened to her, to protect herself. That I had no doubts. Still, the things she told me were almost unbearable, and I had a difficult time accepting them. What was I supposed to do? When I learned my father was our word, how was I supposed to react to that revelation? What was I supposed to think about the fact that his blood flowed through me? I repulsed myself. Do you want all the details? What do you mean? Of the wounds he gave me? I have scars from the things he did. If you don't believe me, I can show them to you. No, that won't be necessary. I see. That's a relief. I don't think I could have handled that right now. Anne turned off her offer for her sake. I only did so because I don't think I could take anymore. I averted my eyes to protect myself. Why had I taken my mother's word? Brushing aside everything Giselle had said and done, I knew good and well my mother was no longer in her right mind. So why had I thought her letter the truth? Why had I been able to think rationally? There were, I believe, several factors. My childhood, my past, the witch's whispers, and above all my own character. Consumed with distrust for everything, I had to face it now. To open my eyes once more, to look at everything I had pretended away until now. I was not completely blameless for her suffering after all. Please continue, if you will. I left off at the point where the mistress discovered what was happening, I believe. I was sent to the mansion to atone for my sins that she didn't even commit. Decided I would be sent here rather than being executed, which is what the mistress wanted. First, I assumed it would essentially be a private prison. But in the carriage on the way here, I was given a letter. A letter from whom? Didn't say, but your father was the one who ordered me here, so I would guess it was him. The letter was very concise, simply explaining there was someone already there. The Bollinger's youngest child. It didn't go into any more detail than that, but it did ask me to look after you. You stole the letter? I don't. The coachman took it back after I was finished. Thinking back on it now, that was rather strange of him to do. It's just a harmless letter. It was anything but. What? Oh. It wasn't my father who wrote that letter. He believes me to be dead, so he'd have sincerely thought he was banishing me to an empty house in a remote forest. The writer couldn't risk leaving anything that might suggest I was still alive. Then who? My brother, I believe. Either Didier or George's, but I would guess Didier. Your brother? Why would he? I do not know. I cannot imagine why he would write such a letter, or why he would want to tell you about me. I don't believe he had any ill intentions, at least. I mean, he asked me to look after you. Makes it sound like he's concerned about you. Then why doesn't he stay in contact? Why does he never respond to my letters? It's a bit late to suddenly start being concerned. No, never mind that now. Please tell me the rest. Okay. She resumed her story from the day she left the mansion, terrified by my behavior. She seemed to be putting a bit more emotion in the tone of her voice now. Perhaps because she could see I was more interested in this part. There was a deep sadness on her face. She described the night in the rain, listening to the thunder when she gave up on living, and I knew I had caused it. She then told me the time she spent in a nearby village. However, at first life seemed wonderful, but in time it came crumbling down. Naturally, she wouldn't be here to tell me this if nothing had happened there. Once she was through with her tale, Giselle let out a long, heavy sigh, as though she had been holding it in for some time. I thought I could just hear a faint trembling in the air she exhaled. That is everything. Do you believe me? If you don't, if you still think I'm deceiving you, then I won't argue with you. That's fine. that's the case, please just kill me. Why didn't you tell me this sooner? I know I wasn't very open to anything you said, but if that day when I found you in my room, you had told me I was mistaken, that the sins belonged to my father, it might not have turned out like this. The knife. What? You're holding a knife? I can't handle blades anymore. Ever since what happened, they scared me to death. Just the sight of one in someone's hand, I start thinking they're gonna use it on me. I can't help it. I start shaking uncontrollably, growing faint of breath. The world goes white. I can't even form words. There's nothing I can do. Ah, now I finally see. She was grimacing in pain. The day the package arrived when you knocked my hand away. 'Cause I was scared. 'Cause it reminded me of that time. It seemed she had simply gently filled my guilty conscience. I felt nauseous, realizing I had been pouring a constant stream of salt onto her unmendable wounds. What a damn fool I was. Why did you get so upset at me? Why did you have to point a knife at me? I didn't want you snooping. If you meant to sell information about me, I thought I had to do anything in my power to stop you. I'm still not convinced it was necessary. It was unarmed. I couldn't fight back. You didn't need a knife. I have nothing left anymore, so I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel. You're a jerk. What you did was inexcusable. You may not have hurt me physically, but you still hurt me. Humans are frail creatures. They wound easily. Apologize. Apologize to me. I said apologize. I'm sorry. Again, put your heart into it. Convince me you mean it. I'm sorry. Again, once more, get down on your knees and shout it from your gut. I'm so very sorry. Is that a laugh? Jeez, you're such a strange man. Strange? You told me to do it. Nothing's going like I thought it would. I figured even if we talked, you'd just deny everything I said. I didn't think you'd actually listen to me. But you did, you listened, and you looked quite distressed by what you heard. I looked distressed? Oh yes, you sure did. I wish I had a mirror to show you. I'm sure you didn't want to believe what I said, but you didn't once accuse me of lying. Faced up to the truth and you apologize. I seem to have had the wrong impression of you as well. I didn't try to see you for who you were, instead of letting myself believe you were someone to be afraid of. To be honest, I didn't like you very much. This feeling was mutual, but for some reason I don't feel that way now. Is it guilt? I need to apologize to you too. Apologize for what? I let the villagers here. I almost sold my soul to the devil. Tried to sell you out to save myself, and for that I am truly sorry. I don't understand. Do I need to get out on my knees too? No, that's not what I meant. The blame falls on the village for falsely accusing you of stealing. You're a convenient scapegoat for the real thieves. They planned to take advantage of you from the start. And Amadi was probably in on it as well. To get back at you for rejecting his proposal. Plus giving the village a single target to let out their frustrations on would in a way help unify them. He used you to meet that end. In order to escape from their trap, you told them about me. But this was after I had threatened you, causing you to flee from this place. You have nothing to apologize for. Still, I feel really bad about it. So, I'm sorry anyway. You're unexpectedly stubborn. But now that we've both apologized to each other, we can call everything square. Square? Square! We were both in the wrong, so we apologized and we forgave each other. She gave a little smile, but all I could do was stare at her, brow furrowed in perplexity, like I was looking at some bizarre fantasyland creature. The weight of our crimes were not equal. What I'd done to her was so much worse. Furthermore, I am Anton's son. His blood flows through me. Can you honestly say you don't find me revolting? Are you willing to forgive me for that? I didn't think I would be able to. If I were her, my grudge would extend to all my family, everyone I had ever come in contact with. I can. Although you don't need forgiveness for being his son, being related to someone doesn't make you responsible for their sins. It wouldn't be fair to blame me for that. You're curious. What? Curious about what? No, not that curious. You're a strange creature. I'm human, you know. Yes, I know you're human. You're making me lightheaded. Is it a medical emergency? That's quite the leap in logic. How you know? I was on my lows just a little bit ago, and now I'm laughing again. It's odd. I never expected I'd recover at all. I was just as surprised as her. She'd been through hell, and she had more than enough reason to despise me, to shower me with vitriol, but instead she was smiling. And even more unexpected was the fact that I felt so relieved to see it. I think I'm gonna save here. Think a music tab would be cool. Oh, I need more DPS, more healers, more stuff. For real, me too. Lots of great OSTs and VNs you're playing, for sure. Yeah, I'll totally make a music tab. I don't mind it. I have like 20 fuel items saved up, but I don't want to use them yet. Give them to me. Give them to me. Give them to me. I really, truly wished I had gotten to know him sooner. Yes, I had fled from the mansion in fear of him. Maybe if I just had a little more courage, enough to tell him the truth, maybe he would have listened. I had let my initial impressions of him solidify too quickly. I convinced myself he was insensitive and perpetually expressionless, save for the Arctic stare. Is this a new door? I think we're still on door 4. Are you not caught up, Strange? I feel like... Did you know? Oh, okay. Yeah, all the VNs when you places like the best music. I think we're at, well, we're like door 4/5, the weird one. The one that we were on though, nothing's changed. We haven't changed doors. I think you're just behind, Strange. But the man standing before me did experience sadness, pain, distress. At the very least, he appeared to from where I was standing. Michael was just like me, an ordinary person. That said, there was still plenty I didn't know. I was still lacking explanations for much of his behavior. Would you mind telling me about yourself now? I'd like to get to know you better. What are you doing here in this mansion all alone? Why do you call yourself cursed? I told you everything. It's only fair you do the same. I mean, Echo's like half my playlist. I have no interest in using your information for anything. I have no reason to. Or are you gonna keep pushing the master and servant line? Do you still think I have no need to know? Be quiet, for the love of God, stop talking already. You always pick the worst time. The last part was like the most important in this door. Yeah, you should really get... Yeah, maybe you should come back, Strange. You should definitely catch up, because a lot of important stuff happened. I won't be playing a lot, because this is just my ending, so I'm just gonna play a little bit, so you won't have a lot to catch up on. What? Excuse me? What do you mean I always pick the worst time? No, I wasn't. Unbelievable. Just when I started to think you might be an actual decent human being, and you go and sprout this. No, Giselle, I wasn't talking to you. Who else could it have been? I'm just gonna cry at my lack of resources and Reeling Star instead of crying at Beta. I was talking to, you know, I have a condition that forces me to vocalize objections to my own thoughts. You know, it's about as convincing as my allergic to people excuse. Sorry. Rita. Across the city, Bear. What secrets did he keep? Maybe the truth was far beyond my reckoning. So did you decide what VN you're playing next? Yes, we're going to be playing Fate next, and then Omori is how the poll sort of went. Well, Omori and Fate were tied, but since we're doing Fata, I decided to wait on Omori because there's no voice acting in it. And if it was, even if he did, please tell me everything. No matter what you say, I won't doubt your word. I will trust you, and I'm sure I can accept anything you say. Nice, I love Fate. Nice. Please, if you don't put into words, I have nothing to work with. Okay. Where should I start, though? How about the curse, then? Are you actually cursed? That's a difficult question. I cannot, for example, take someone's life with my curse, nor can I bring about disaster. I don't have any magical powers like that. So what you said outside was a bluff, then? It was just to chase the villagers away. You're playing like all the best viewers at the same time. Well, you certainly put on a convincing performance. So you can't actually curse anyone, huh? Regardless, I am human. Nothing more, nothing less. At least I consider myself one. Others would disagree, and for that, and the reason for that has to do with my body. Your skin, your hair, and eye color, right? Right. Seeing Michael under the sun, he certainly wasn't what most people would consider normal. OMG, am I late? Oh, we just barely did this. Awe-inspiring, in fact. Giving birth to me, it broke my mother. No, I drove her mad. Not only do I appear inhuman, I am oversensitive to sunlight. Isn't he just albino? While a little light through the window isn't much of a problem, I can't be outside directly under the sun for more than a couple hours. When she realized I couldn't go out into the sun, my mother started thinking I was possessed by a demon. So she banished me to this mansion until my curse was broken. That was 10 years ago. Just because you look different from them? The family's reputation was at stake too. The other noble houses realized they were giving refuge to an unholy creature. It would destroy the Bollingers. You saw how the villagers reacted. They called me a demon when they saw me. I suspect the rumors about the mansion played a part in that. If nobody thought the house was cursed, they wouldn't have. I'm sure you were afraid as well. You saw me, though I was not, and thought I was not of this world. I looked like a demon. I thought you looked like an angel. A what? I at least thought you looked more like an angel than a demon. I never once crossed my mind that you might be evil. But I understand your situation now. Because of your appearance, you've lived all alone in this dark mansion for 10 years. It's never really an inconvenience. They bring me all the supplies I need. You big liar. Have you never considered running away? That's not an option. Because of the sun. No, I could move during night if I really wanted to. I'm being watched. To ensure I don't leave. Watch? They can't allow anyone to find out that I'm alive, particularly at the Bollinger estate. If I were to run and they were to find out, I'd probably be killed. The light didn't stand out so much, I might be able to stay out of sight easier. But also, I've been holding a little hope, I think. Hope that I might be able to return someday. I have all but given up that hope now, though. Not that I had ever had enough willpower to really fight for it. I see. You don't need to worry about pitying me either. It's long since become normal to me. So it's something that should ever become normal. So what was that really a moment ago? You don't actually have a condition that makes you argue with yourself, do you? Please tell me. You don't have to believe me. In fact, I doubt you will. You're free to think I'm completely mad. Don't worry, I want to know. I can hear the witch's voice. The witch's voice started when I first arrived at the mansion. No one else can hear it either. Like I said, it sounds crazy. No, not at all. I said I would trust you, so I believe you. Maybe he's not well. Yeah, that has to be it. 10 years all alone in one place, you're bound to start hearing things. Seems like a delicate person, too. Thinking about it like that, I'm starting to feel really sorry for him. Do I want to know what you're thinking? I'm here for you. Huh? I've made up my mind. I'm gonna stay here with you. Wait, what? Don't worry, you'll shout so loud you won't be able to hear that silly witch's voice anymore. Will you know? If you hear it again, let me know, understood? You don't have to be afraid. I never said I was. Whenever you hear it, I'll be there with you, holding your hand. Well, we kind of took the extremely long route, but there you have it. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Master. Master? Now where should we begin? Oh, I know supper. Are you hungry? What should I make? Slow down, please. What is it? If there's something you'd like, I'm happy to accommodate. You actually intend to stay here again? After what happened last time? Because of what happened. Because of that, we're finally able to see past each other's surface. I want us to try again from the beginning. At this time, actually try to be considerate of one another's feelings. That's a promise, Master. Alright. I can stay here, right? I don't mind. I'm glad to hear it. Say, yes, Master? If you ever want something from me, could I please ask you to put into words? I don't have much faith in my ability to pick up on things. Got it. Here's something to start with. What do you say we open some of these windows? Open the windows? Yeah, we don't have to if you think it will cause you problems, but it'd be nice to get a little light in here. I'd like to put an end to this house being a dark, closed-off cave. I wasn't the one who barred the windows. You weren't? They were like that when I arrived. You made it seem like a very appropriate place to lock me away. Well, I'm sensitive to light, yes, as I mentioned, a little sun through the window shouldn't cause any problems. Alright then, can I ask you to help me open them? Let's both lighten this place up. After a few moments of silence, Michael gave me a curt nod. While we couldn't do anything with the windows that had been boarded out, the two of us forced open the ones that were just covered by the rusted over shutters. When we got the first one to open, a beautiful stream of light like nothing I'd ever seen before. Flooded into the dark mansion's halls. I had assumed that spring would never come. All we had to do was talk to each other, listen to each other, and everything else would fall into place. But it was that first step that was so hard, so much harder than either of us had expected. And now that ice was melting, and we had to treasure that. It might not have seemed like much to someone else, but to us it was a huge accomplishment. This time it'll all work out, it has to. I had all the confidence in the world when we were together, but now that I am alone in the dark, the absolute silence of the night, I'm starting to get anxious again. Starting to feel like something bad's gonna happen, like I'm gonna mess something up again. We took a big step today, and I know I have to keep it together, to keep thinking positive. The goods you're after, Giselle, are not cheap, understand? Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the woman hath committed 3 sins. She has lied, she has stolen, she has betrayed her fellow man. It's alright, it's okay. There's nothing to be afraid of, Giselle. Whatever happens, you have to hold fast to your faith and goodness of others. You have no reason to tremble. Ah, yes, come in. That's odd. I don't think I was hearing anything. There's no one here. What was that about? Oh, a glass? It's wine. It's so warm. Guess he heated it on the fire for me? Oh, you. He could have at least said hi. Hee hee. I have a feeling this is gonna work out. The light shining through the windows was swallowed by the whole darkness, as if to say our time together never actually existed. We saw it though. Together we watched the light crack open the darkness. I'm begging you, please remember. Please find yourself. Please, Giselle, don't let the things you felt, the warmth that fell over us, remain lost to you. I might have seen it. Seen that most beautiful light, Giselle. But are these truly my memories? Could they not be someone else's tale, like all the others we've seen so far? She was so bright and energetic, and I am neither of those. Besides, the maid needs not a tale of her own. This is not a story. These are memories. Mine and your memories, no one else's. It was all very much real. as were the kinder, happier days that came next. Kinder, happier days? Those words create a strange warmness within my chest. But at the same time, they make me indescribably anxious. Is there really happiness to be found down that road? Even if our past doesn't lead to happiness, it couldn't be worse than where we are now. Come, Giselle, to the spring that made us more than just strangers. Master, come on, get up. Up with you. Master! What? See, what did I tell you? It's so much nicer in here with a little light. Morning? Oh, wait a sec. Don't you hide under your bedspread. Get out of here. I'm fine with my room staying dark. What is she even doing in here? Oh, but Master, you agreed that I could open the windows. I did, yes. Don't worry, I put curtains up. If it gets too bright, you can draw them. Mornings take the best parts of being outside and squeeze them all into the same few hours. You don't have to go outside in the sunlight for it either. Just listen to all the wonderful sounds. The joyous songs of the birds, the swaying of the trees, the rustling of the leaves. Am I being as pushy as I feel right now? Kind of. Best stroke in the game right here. It's very nice. Hope you're doing well, Felix. But you wouldn't be if you weren't, so for now I won't get on you about it. Thanks, Felix. Also, now that I know your real intentions, no, never mind. I completely misjudged you. You're the exact opposite of what I thought you were. What did you think of me? Let's see. Oh, you're cold and cruel, heartless and incomprehensible. But I'm beginning to get a better idea. Try to put on airs, but you're really rather childish. You have a short temper, but can be surprisingly playful. He's just like a cinder. What else? You have a pretty difficult personality too. There's not a single good trait on that list. No, hear me out. Listen to everything. You gave me a chance to talk, and you listened intently. You can be kind of nice too. We agreed that we would live together, not just in the same house, so we've got plenty of time to add more to the list. And I hope you can make your own list about me too. So it's just the beginning after all. We've got a long, long time ahead of us. Plenty of time to get to know each other now. Let's not waste any time then. What do you say we do something today that we haven't been able to do before? Where should we begin? Oh, I know, let's get this place cleaned up. You want to clean? Now that there's some actually light in here, we can see all sorts of things we'd probably rather not. Like dust, all over the place. Our vision was slightly unfocused, having not completely escaped from Morpheus' embrace. I could see well enough to catch her smiling brightly. It's the first time I'd gotten a good look at her in the light. I could see the facial features I had missed during yesterday's commotion, and those glittering eyes. Not even a trace of tribulation she'd endured tainted her pure jade eyes. She was surprisingly good looking. I'm clearly not myself right now. Something the matter, Master? I know, you're still half asleep, aren't you? Guess I'm just gonna have to throw my best bucket of water on you. What is the best bucket of water? I'm awake. Is there something on my face then? Just far too amusing a sight to wake up to. Amusing? Oh, just get out of bed already. What a noisy morning. Geez, stop acting like a lovey-dovey couple. I got my first decent look at Michael's face under the light that morning, watching him still fully yawn as he crawled out of bed. All the little details I hadn't been able to pick up on in the darkness, his expressions, mannerisms, and the way he looked at me. I could see facial features I had missed during yesterday's commotion, and those vivid, all-consuming red eyes. It's probably no, almost certainly making a really dumb face at him. Is it just me, or is he kinda, very pretty? How could I have not noticed until now? Oh geez, wow, I can't look him in the eyes. Yes? What can I do for you? Is there something on my face? No. Huh? Hair monster. Excuse me? No, your hair. It's really long. Yes, that's it, way too long. Sending her away for a servant to speak to her master. I'm just kidding. I don't have any interest in holding your status against you anymore. I see. It's really hard to tell if he's joking or not. So about that cleaning. May I wash my face first? Well, you're gonna help? As I said, I'm not gonna act like your superior to you anymore. Zero risk, Giselle. What are you snickering about? I can't help it. I'm happy. If my hair really does bother you, you can cut it. Huh? I can cut it? Of course, I'll give you the best haircut you've ever had. Oh, but I should warn you, you want to stay perfectly still. I'm a monster with a pair of scissors. My sister always said you are likely to lose an ear as you wear your hair whenever I cut it. You stay away from me. I was shocked at how much more comfortable I felt around her, only one day following our opening up to each other. Maybe this was normal, and I had never simply felt it before. I didn't know. I thought it would take years of work to get close enough to someone to be able to have a conversation without picking apart every little detail. But here I was a day later, already there. Was that how it usually worked? Do people normally get close and draw apart so freely? I didn't find it unpleasant to have someone else around. It was a strange feeling. All that friction had dissipated in an instant, and it was like we had known each other for years. Then, not entirely willingly, we began sharing meals, something I'd always done by myself. Hey, I saw you shoving aside that parsnip. You need to eat everything. Do you have any idea why there's so much running parsnip in that cellar? I don't care for it. You could at least pretend to be ashamed. Yeesh, you're not a kid, so don't be picky. It's not good for you. It hasn't caused any problems this far. It will soon enough. Huh, I can't believe you. We have limited supplies and you want to eat your vegetables? Oh, question. I've got an idea. Go on. Is the list of supplies sent by your family set in stone? Meaning? Just wondering if it was possible to make requests. If I could, I would just go out on a shopping trip. Perished the thought. The only village around here is the one you came from. Right. Say, are you saying that out of concern for... Who would ever be concerned about you? I just want to be able to sleep well at night, and I'm not interested in throwing more servants to the lions. You know, you're a whole lot simpler of a person than I first thought. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, nothing. Back to your question about the delivery, yes you can. I haven't made any requests recently. You can write what you want on a sheet of parchment. Or if you don't have anything, something similar, put it in the box and leave it outside. As long as your request is not completely unreasonable, it should arrive at the next package. Why, is there something you need? Yeah, I was hoping to increase your selection of vegetables. Well, I'm at it if possible. Actually, that's a secret. A secret? It's nothing too exciting. I'll tell you when the time is right. My relationship with Michael gradually transitioned from master and servant to something closer to friend. He was still my master, but he allowed me almost complete freedom. He didn't order me around either. He gave me a hand with my work. Though he was not still very talkative and oftentimes hard to read, he at least seemed to be making an effort to close the gap. He would on occasion tell me about himself, though not in much detail, and anytime his family came up, he grimaced uncomfortably. Apparently his father had wanted him dead. His brothers, though, had worked to create a scenario in which he could live, faking his death and sending him to this remote mansion. I had never encountered Michael's brothers while his family's estate, but assuming he was right and it was only one of them would give me the letter, they were like their only allies at that house. I don't know what he's thinking. It's been 10 years, Michael had muttered. To which I replied, have faith. It's better to believe in something, even if it's felt silly and unreasonable, than to lose faith in everything. And being able to find renewed belief in the kindness of people was what had allowed me to start smiling again after all. Because I was able to have faith, I was able to enjoy life once more. It wasn't an exciting or thrilling life, it was a humble, simple one with just the two of us. But I wouldn't trade that life for anything. Some people might think it dull or dreary, but it was ours. Master, I really, truly appreciate that you want to help me with the cooking. I do honestly, but this is apocalyptic. This is mutinous. This is an affront to gastronomy. This is unearthly disgusting. Get me better ingredients. What? I'm not a bad cook. These are simply bad ingredients. If they were better, they would taste just fine boiled. And it's not as bad as you claim. Besides, you make a mockery of the culinary arts. I've been eating this for years. I don't see the problem. I have heard quite enough, Master. It sounds like I'm gonna need to put your taste buds through some intense rehabilitation. I have to teach him what real food tastes like. Otherwise, he won't be able to appreciate it if I make him something really good. Hold the chair steady for me, will you? I'm gonna wipe down the top shelf. I can handle it. I'm tall enough to reach without standing on a chair. It's not as simple as just running a rag over it. I've got practice, so let me take care of it, alright? There's a lot more dust than I expected. I probably should have used something to cover my mouth. You're gonna want to hold your breath for this, Master. Alright, here goes. She's quite practiced. Is there anything you're holding the chair? Achoo! Ah! Whoa, whoa. Oh, the chair! Ow! I'm so sorry, I didn't think there'd be that much dust. Thank you for holding the Master. Your hand is what? Your hand is this on my chest? I didn't know it was an accident. Right, it was. I'm fine, really. That was my fault anyway. It's completely, totally fine. Can't even look her in the eyes. Could this be any more painfully awkward? Anime, for real. So don't worry about it, Master. Honestly, I should be apologizing for subjecting you to that. It's easier said than done. I have to do something about this stifling awkwardness. For one, it was only a moment. I barely even realized what it was. That's not the issue. I need some clever way to brush all this aside. Something witty that tells her I'm not bothered at all. I'm not concerned. In fact, I see no reason to be concerned at all. I felt like I was squeezing an obese rat. Oh my god. Zero fucking res, Michael. I hardly even perceived it as a breast. An obese rat. An obese rat. What? How utterly insensitive can you be? I'm gonna rip every last hair off your head. Girl, leave my hair out of this. So tsundere. Say, Master, what'd you do all this time by yourself? It's an exceedingly big question. See. When you were really, really stupidly bored out of your mind, what'd you do to keep yourself occupied? Meditate. Just how many times have you reached enlightenment? I sometimes play chess too. Chess? Like by yourself? Yes, I imagine how an opponent might react to my moves and play the other side that way. It's kind of depressing to think about. How about this, Master? Play a game against me. Do you know the rules? You bet I do. I do come from a family of merchants, so I keep up with all trends and know all sorts of games. Oh. Hee hee hee. Prepare to meet your maker. So who was I supposed to prepare to meet again? Come on, have a little mercy, you trounced me. One more time. I just wasn't at the top of my game. When am I gonna meet this maker? What? How? When did you put me in checkmate? One more. Hold on, that's not fair. Take it back. Ah, my king. Please stop. Amateur. Can you go just a little bit easy? He never asks you to go easy. This isn't a game, this is a slaughter. This is a one-sided massacre. About this maker. I'm looking right at him. That was actually kind of fun. No, it wasn't. It was miserable. Next time we're playing something fair. Such as? Let's see. Oh, I know. Arm wrestling. Huh, arm wrestling. Ooh, they get to touch hands! They get to hold hands, bitch! Yes! Yeah, you sit across from each other, put your elbows on the table, grab hands, and see who can pin each other. There's a scene in Kaguya-sama where they do that. They're literally, I'm at that part, it's like at the beginning, I haven't finished season 3, so don't spoil, but it's at the beginning of season 3, where they're arm wrestling and they just like hold each other's hand for like 30 minutes and pretend to be going really hard so they can just hold hands. It's so funny. Ugh. Yeah, I know that episode. Yeah, I'm like, I want that with them. I want to know his thoughts when it happens. Anyways, who would ever willingly participate in such a primitive competition? Not interested then. Are you afraid you might lose? Alright then. I can't imagine losing to a woman. Okay, elbow on the table. Start on my count. Ready, go. Victory! With each passing day, it grew less and less unusual having Giselle, always at my side. I began more freely engaging in silliness, speaking my mind and showing emotion. I could say her name, and Giselle would turn around and smile at me, an unimaginable sight not long ago. For 10 years I'd lived alone. Solitude had been my normal, but that was very rapidly changing at her hands. We were continually getting closer, yes, but not in a romantic sense. If I had to describe it, I'd say good friends was probably the most apt. Time continued to press on, our relationship remaining relatively stable. Eventually summer came, bringing with it the longest periods of sunlight I experienced in many years. Then the leaves began falling from the trees, and before long the world grew cold and dreary. The winter, the fireplace was never without a crackling blaze in its belly. The boiled wine we drank was undoubtedly middling and cheap, but she said with a smile, I've never had wine this good before. And although I didn't say anything, I felt the same way. The sun set much earlier, and having stopped using candles, we found ourselves habitually gathering around the fireplace when it grew dark. Aw, cute! Reading a story by the fireplace like this almost makes it feel like we're in another world, doesn't it, Master? I bet that's why it's troubadours perform at pubs, so they can be near the fire. Or because there's ale. Drunkenness makes even bad singing and storytelling pleasant to the ears. Oh, you're such a cynic. But that's okay. Say, yes. Do you remember when I first arrived here? When I was cleaning the library? Please don't tell me you're bringing the obese rat incident back up. No, not that. Before that. Before we actually could, talk to each other. I believe I suggested we read something together if I ever felt the inclination. You might have. I can't say I remember. Are you sure about that? You turned down my proposal, saying I was wasting my time. But look, it actually happened. Even if you don't remember, I'm sure you never thought this moment would come. I was, for the most part, focused on making sure things didn't get any worse between us. To be honest, I didn't expect there would ever come a time where we'd actually sit shoulder to shoulder right above. You never know that things might pan out. I actually do remember. I remember I tried to push her away, how much I mistrusted her. There was nothing but hostile towards her. People change. Perhaps if they do so in the future. Maybe I can hope that, like our friendship, there's a chance the future might take a turn for the better. Is something the matter? I don't care much for hypotheticals, but if by some chance I were someday to be able to return that house, should that time come, that house is the home to our nightmares. Even if it didn't happen until after my father was gone, it would erase what he had done there. She acts like nothing's wrong, though. I don't know. Have her wounds healed, or do they still remain? The CGI, love it so much I made my wallpaper. Aw. Should that time come? Should that time come, if the day comes, I will do what I can to ensure you have a comfortable life in the city. Though I will not be able to inherit the estate, I can work something out. I see. Thank you very much. But if you'd be comfortable doing so, I'd be pleased if you were to join me. I mean, as a servant. As a servant? Yes, a servant. I'm short on hands. I see, a servant. Do I really need to repeat myself? Yes, a servant. Alright, sure, I think I will. I'd like to accompany you, Master. How exciting. I'm sure a wonderful future. Oh, how exciting! I'm sure a wonderful future awaits us. I pray so. Back to the story. I believe I'd just gotten to the point where the knight set out to defeat the monster and save the princess. I bet he was a big, buff, muscular knight. Let's not talk about how muscular he was. She let out a gentle laugh, and I thought I smelled something sweet on her breath. Was it her scent? Perhaps just my imagination. I had no way of knowing. We sat so close, even the slightest shift seemed sufficient to allow me to hear the sound of her heartbeat, causing mine to accelerate. Curiosities flooded my mind. What might she be thinking right now? What does she think about me? As much as I tried to banish them, I frustratingly failed. I was just getting caught up in the moment. I had just briefly lost my way. Though I tried to convince myself otherwise, it was all in vain. When had my pulse gone so rapid? When had my skin gotten so flushed? When, how, why was this happening to me? I thought I'd already learned my lesson about having feelings for someone else. For long, winter retreated, and our second spring came to take its place. A full year had passed since we resumed living together. I don't think it was my information that this year felt much warmer than last. Spring seemed to arrive a bit earlier than previous years. One night, when the breeze carried on it a pleasant residual warmth, Giselle escorted me up to the garden. Come on, Master, hurry up. I feel yours obsessed with the stories me with White Album too. For real. It's the middle of the night, what's so important? I just found it myself, and I couldn't wait until morning. A rose had blossomed. A rose? Giselle had over the past year cleaned up the nest of weeds that had been strangling the garden. Off to the side, a small plot of turned soil swaying in the wind beneath the moonlight. It was a single red rose. When did you... Last year I requested flower seeds, but I just couldn't get them to grow, and I was starting to think they never would. I'm really obsessed with Fata, Morgana. Well, look, it's only one, but it did. I had no idea. Of course you didn't, I didn't tell you. Why would you keep it from me? I wanted to make it a gift for you, Master. What? Why? Roses make wonderful gifts, supposedly. No, that's not what I meant. Why me? I haven't given you anything. Consider it a symbol of my hope that we'll still be this close another year from now. If we are, then this is yours. I don't follow her reasoning. Follow it at all, but... Sight the deep red rose almost melting into the dark night was perhaps the most wondrous thing I'd ever seen in my life. I had never understood why some people found flowers so enchanting. They were just plants to me, but that one on that night was so undeniably beautiful, majestic. Like a young child seeing a flower for the very first time, I'd automatically reached out for it. Now knowing the proper way to appreciate flowers, I didn't gently caress its petals or take in its fragrance, but snapped its stem. Well, you picked it. Are you gonna bring it back to your room? I finally processed her question. That was when I realized I probably should have let it grow in the garden. From the base of its stem where I plucked it, a droplet succumbed to gravity and fell to the earth. With it came the delayed realization that I ended the plant's life, but it was overpowered with the child possessiveness. The stunning flower was mine. Moonlight trickled down from the heavens, giving it a gentle bluish tint to my hands, and the smile on her face. You're gonna need a vase then. Just give me a minute. For the briefest moment, the moonlight must have played a trick on my mind. Aww. Oh, this is that picture that we saw. Huh? Master? What on earth am I doing? Look at bewilderment filled Giselle's face, just inches from mine, which hammered in the reality of what I just done. The thought had just crossed my mind that perhaps her black hair might prove a good backdrop for the rose, but it was supposed to remain a simple fancy. What was that about? An excuse, I need a good excuse. A drawing. A drawing? Right, I would like to preserve it on canvas. What? You mean that a rose on its own does not make a very compelling picture, so I'd like to include it as an accessory. You want to draw me too? Merely as a background element. You're slightly more interesting than that vase, that's all. I've never seen you draw anything before. I just never got the urge. You know how? Many years ago my brother taught me. I don't think I can handle being a model. I've never had a drawing done of me before. You'd probably be better off with just the rose. You gave it to me, didn't you? That means I'm free to do with it as I please. I did. I didn't mean to sound so rude. I had no real interest in drawing the rose, but I just couldn't take it back either. Shella shrunk back quite visibly, and I couldn't bring myself to look her in the eye. So I fled to the cellar in search of supplies to escape the oppressive awkwardness. At the far wall, I found a rectangular finger of wood and several sticks of charcoal. My materials were obviously nothing compared to what a court artist might use, but I was clearly not going to be able to do the portrait any kind of justice. God, what am I doing? I want to bury my head in the sand. She was waiting for me in the stained glass chamber. It seemed she was still just as uncomfortable as when I had left her. She gave me a fleeting glance before averting her gaze again. Only she would laugh or make a scene like usual and make things so much easier. Why'd she have to choose right now to start acting unique? What should I be doing? Stay perfectly still, please. Do you need me to pose or anything? No, just get comfortable. Look away. Why? It's hard to work when you're watching me. What? I feel like I have to sneeze. Please. What now? Can I see it? Barely draw anything yet. As long as her eyes didn't meet, I was able to observe her. My gaze was quite clearly not focused on the rose, but Giselle. First, I had regretted my in-the-moment proposition, but I was beginning to think it hadn't been such a bad idea. Without some sort of pretext, I would never have been able to examine her so intently. I didn't have that kind of courage. This isn't like me. But what was like me? Did I prefer being a sharp-tongued, unreproachable recluse? Was that what I wanted to strive for? Giselle was like a gale. Her mere presence dispersed the gloomy cloud that always hovered around me. Thinking about it, it's practically a miracle that we ever ended up so comfortable around each other. She's still here right now. Light from the moons filled through the stained glass window, taking on a multitude of pale tones before falling on her white skin and jade eyes. I'd stopped sketching at some point. What in the world is going on? One of my roses finally blew, which I thought would put a smile on Michael's face. Rather than improve his mood, it made him go all strange. It made him say he wanted to draw something. I had never seen Michael draw anything before. Look, I can't sit still. Tried to sneak peeks of him every once in a while, but anytime our eyes met, he gave me a stern look at that way stare. So you ended up sitting the whole time I'm looking a lot at our Archangel in the stained glass window. What could he be thinking? Could this be thanks for the rose? Pretty sure he's not the type who would consider drawing an expression of gratitude, though. If I'm wrong about that, it'll turn my whole world upside down. Maybe he wanted to draw me? No, not possible. That would turn the world upside down even faster. He couldn't. We're close to be sure, but we're not that kind of close. That makes it sound like Michael's attracted to me. And there's no way. There's absolutely no way. He compares me to an obese rat, calls me an amateur at chess, laughing like crushes me. So that's not what this is it? Oh yes? If it's too much trouble, you're free to leave. This will take a very long time to complete. Oh no, no trouble. You had a very stern look on your face is all. I was doing that bad a job at hiding it. I don't want to force you to do anything you don't want. It's foolish of me to ask you, I'm sorry. Honestly, it's no trouble, I mean it. You just took me by surprise, that's all. I'm not even that great of an artist to begin with. It's not a talent I was blessed with. If I'm being honest with myself, I can't imagine anyone would be pleased to have bad art drawn of them. What? Why is he getting so negative about? He wasn't the only one making a face. His head was turned slightly downward, a forlorn shimmer in his eyes. I'd never seen him make that face before. He resembled a child who had just been scorned by his mother. I wasn't at all angry or displeased with him. I was just fine, honestly. I had to get that through to him. I am pleased. Doesn't matter how it turns out. You drew it for me, Master. Whether it's good or bad is irrelevant. I would... The moon shining through the stained glass was so enchanting. I lost myself in it. I'd be happy with anything drawn for me by the man I love. Oh my gosh! For an instant, time froze. By the time I realized what I had said, my mind had gone blank and I couldn't form a coherent thought. I mean, you know, like family, you're like an older brother to me. I'm in love like love her brother. Hey, say something, Master. Get my usual exasperated side. Come on now. Come and give me your best good grief and then hurl me out the window. Oh, come on, please. Show me some disappointment. My Master. The wood family was using the canvas and the chart in his hand crashed to the hard chapel floor. The clattering was so loud I jumped. I didn't have the presence of mind to wonder why he knocked over the canvas or why his hands appeared to be shaking. Let me help you with that. I stepped towards him. And when I did, the moon shining down us intensified, and our gazes of jade and ruby intertwined. Oh, so the ruby and jade on the thing too. Aw, this is so cute. Booba! There's a visible rosiness in his ethereal pale cheeks. Master? Flicker of panic darted beneath the surface of his normally stony red eyes. They were trembling as he looked over at me. I was at a loss for words. We must have been under the moon's spell. We weren't thinking. We stood alone frozen in that world, robbed of all rational thought. Riding the moonlight's current, his hand fell against my cheek. He was much colder than I expected. It felt pleasant on my flushed skin. As we drew closer, I could feel the warmth emanating from his body. And I'm sure... This is so cute! Boopa! I'm sure you can feel mine. Bunny 2023. The beating of my heart, too. His breathing stopped for a moment, then he gulped. He brought his head in and closed my eyes and... I shoved away all my strength. He rolled back, knocked down on the side of the pew, and began groaning in pain, so then I finally realized what I had done. Well, what have you done, Giselle? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Are you hurt? I'm fine. So sorry, you startled me. I really, truly didn't mean to knock you down. You should go back to your room. I'm sorry for all the trouble I caused you tonight. What? Get some rest. Good night. Oh no, the PTSD. Turned away, marching off to the corridor and shrouded in darkness. There was a heavy air of loneliness hanging over him, which gave rise to phantom images of him actually disappearing into the darkness. I'd caused that, but I didn't realize until it was too late. It felt like someone was sitting on my chest. Why would I ever do that to him? Of course I'm gonna hurt him reacting like that. Maybe I was hoping he would just say it was one of his jokes. Do I want to be a joke? I had that option. I could pretend nothing had ever happened and tomorrow go back to the way things were before. But if I did that, there'd almost certainly never be a second chance. You're okay with it. You wanted it, Giselle. Quit lying to yourself. You're the one who said you loved him. And that was no mistake. You wouldn't sit shoulder to shoulder and read a book with someone you didn't care for. You wouldn't enjoy eating supper with someone you didn't like. You wouldn't be able to live happily with someone you didn't love. You have to go after him, find him, and tell him the truth. What am I doing, for God's sake? I'm not in my right mind. Something about me was off today. I couldn't control myself. I was saying things I didn't mean, doing things I didn't intend to. Never meant to do that, but at this point I had no choice but to admit my feelings. I couldn't pretend I didn't know what they were anymore. How long had I felt this way? A week? A month? 6 months? Or maybe a full year? Had they already developed when we started anew? No, the one didn't matter. It didn't change the facts. I was still attracted to her, regardless when it had begun. But she pushed me away quite literally. I sighed at myself. Why should I be disappointed? She was nothing like me. She was exclusive and unsociable. She was the exact opposite. She was the kind of person who would confidently tell someone how she felt. She'd done exactly that, started like a brother, but I didn't listen. As a matter of fact, could I have been more presumptuous? I don't deserve to love anyone. It's better this way. Master! I told you to go back to your room. Master, I need you to listen to me, okay? What? About what happened, it doesn't count. You can't count any of that, huh? That I said I loved you, that I shoved you, they don't count. Right, I was telling you that anyway. So don't worry. No, that's not what I mean. What I'm saying is it's not something I should have said on a whim just because the moonlight was pretty tonight. It wasn't supposed to be so casual. The way I said it doesn't get across at all how much I really care about you. Should have been something with more impact rather. Me looking at you straight in your eyes, my heart jumping out like it's on fire. That's how I should have said it. What are you? I'm saying I want you to give me one more chance to do it right. Giselle. Calm yourself. I'm calm. In no sense of the word are you calm. Fine, then I'm not calm, but I am clear-headed. I mean every last word. Listen very carefully. I love you. I love you so much I feel like my heart's gonna explode. What? Huh? You mean like family, like a brother, right? Romantic love, romantic! What? I wasn't upset back there. No, I was elated. What? My mind couldn't keep up with what I was hearing. Half out of breath where she stood, Giselle was frantically insisting that she loved me. Was I dreaming? Oh, Master. How do you... I'd like to hear... How do you feel about me? Assuming I interpret that correctly, you're going for a kiss back there, right? Right? So I can take that as your answer? So looked at me with bleary eyes. She had feelings for me. It was a miracle. I could hardly breathe. I felt like someone had struck their hand in my chest and was squeezing my heart. I just had to say yes, and a smile would spread across her face. I could bring her joy, and all it would take is a single word. I had no reason to say no. My happiness is standing right there in front of me. What more could I ask for? All I had to do was reach out and claim it for myself. I tried to do exactly that in the trap, but I could do it again. I loved her. I was a twisted man, cast out of the world and left with nothing. I had no way to make her happy, but still Don't tell me you've forgotten what you are. Tell me. There's no moonlight to give me that nudge. Do not feel that way about you. What? I got confused for a moment. I apologize for the misunderstanding that seems to have caused. The color drained from her, like a flower wilting before my eyes. Heavy sighs spilled from her lips. Her jaded eyes swayed lifelessly back and forth. I hadn't thought mere love could possibly have such weight, but she looked as though I had just told her she was to be executed. I see. I'm sorry. I let it get to my head. Sorry for making such a racket. Really, God, what was I thinking? I got way ahead of myself there. Her faux energy hurt to watch. I had hurt her, and this was the result. You wanted to protect yourself, even if it meant hurting her. Look where that got you. You would have been better off just going with it. Because when she learned the truth, She would have pushed you away anyway. I'm sorry. I'll be going now. Sorry for barging in on you like that. She ran her way into the shadows towards the door. There, you did it. You preserved your peace. Got the feeling she'd never again turn back. Your mistake was ever getting close to anyone. What I'd always wanted was right there in front of me. I was so close to obtaining it. And you pushed her away. I actually did love her. She'd never loved the real you. No, she couldn't. You're disgusting. I can't believe you actually had the gall to fall for me. Good night, Master. She was leaving. I wanted her here. She was leaving. Simply had to acknowledge my feelings and she would come back. Was I really content to let her go? In my weakness, I mistreated her. I hurt her. I let her go and I was about to lose her. Even though she said she loved me, and I felt the same way. Wait. Please don't go. Your voice is shaking like a scared child's. What are you hoping to tell her like that? She's different. She's probably no. She absolutely was nothing like anyone in my past. She won't be any different. I said I'd try just one more time. To believe in myself and to believe in someone else. I lied. She's all from the bottom of my heart. You'll regret this. No, I won't. I sincerely love you. The fragrance of rose enveloped me. Her arms wrapped around my chest were both imbued with strength and shaking like mad, so the slightest touch might shatter them. Aww. Why didn't you just see that in the first place? She said in a quavering, sniveling voice inches from my ear. I lacked sufficient control over my mind or body to return her embrace, run my hands through my hair, or do anything more than support her weight. I'm sorry. Jerk. Bully. Brute. You don't get to play this one up as a joke. I truly am sincerely sorry. You're giving me two different stories. Tell me which one's true. Are you just confused or do you actually love me? I want to hear you say it again. The truth is I love you. Again, I love you. Without fumbling this time. I love you. As I've said several times now. Not good enough again. Have mercy, please. I'm about to die of humiliation. Can I really believe you this time? You're not gonna say you're lying again? No, I won't. Then maybe we'll feel the same way about each other? Shockingly enough. What's there to be shocked about? I didn't think there was anything likable about me. Well, you really have to do something with that pessimism. I'll try. I'm in heaven. I'm so happy I could cry. You are all over me. Oh, thank goodness, thank goodness. When you first didn't know, everything went black. I wasn't sure what I'd do anymore. I'd lost all hope. I really, really do feel bad about that. But you had a change of heart, and you're willing to have me. Yes. Everything I bring with me. That is the idea. Absolutely everything, right? You're pushing the point rather hard. I have a request. Something you don't think I can ask you anytime but now while we're in the moment. I will do anything, as long as it is within my ability. Tell me, what is it? Will you look at my naked body? Do I need to censor? Is there a censor scene in Morgana? What? Oh, specifically my scar? No? Oh, okay. You're going to have to see them eventually. In which case, I'd like that to be now. You're going to refuse to look at your scars. I had been certain I wouldn't be able to accept what they represented. They abused my father's trajectory too. Possible I would have preferred never having to face that, but I more than anyone needed to know. It was my responsibility. I had to accept reality, not grimace or avert my eyes. I had to face up to what had been done to her. Okay. Couldn't bring myself to look at her as if she hesitantly disrobed. The sound of her clothes rustling made me feel as though I was doing something incredibly improper. Much as I feigned calm, I was so tense my joints were practically creaking, and my heart felt like it was being stepped on. I feel like I'm made of stone. I'm ready. You can turn around. Oh, alright. I'll count to 10. She's laughing at me. I feel a whole lot better seeing you so nervous. I'm turning around. Okay. Booba. Her head was tilted down just enough to keep me from making out her expression, but she couldn't hide the pink flush spreading across her cheeks. It contrasted well against her white but not excessively pale skin, as did her jet black hair. Sorry, it's not anything nicer to look at. In what way was this not a pleasant sight? I had never been more entranced by anything in my entire life. She was stunning. I had no measure of comparison, but I was certain the same sight of any other woman in the world would not have had the same effect on me. Aww. I could say as much with confidence, despite having never seen another woman nude. Hypnotized, I couldn't take my eyes off the gentle curves of her body. Were I most socially inclined, perhaps I could have told her she was pretty, which perhaps would have brought a sheepish smile to her face. When I wanted to, my throat was dry as dust, and all I could manage to produce were incoherent rasps. Please say something. I'm hideous, aren't I? I'm unclean. You're not hideous. You mean it? I mean it. Why would you think so? Because You are not unclean, not in the slightest. You mean it? I do. Even saying this? Still as I slid downward, a trace of fear lurking just beneath the surface. Get Michael some water. Following her lead, I dropped my gaze to her lower body, and there I saw her scars. Swollen red and black gashes, still not healed after more than a year, defiled her white flesh. She had described it to me. The lines were arranged to form letters carved into her skin. So that's why she said I'd have to see them eventually. My instincts told me these were wounds she would carry for the rest of her life. I felt nauseous, heartbroken, infuriated at the fact that the person who had done this was out of my reach, the fact that I could do nothing for her. What went through my father's mind when he looked at these? What did he gain from giving her these wounds? Why did he have to do this to her? Why my father of all people? Giselle was the one with the scars. Giselle was the one in pain. But it felt like someone had shoved a handful of needles into my chest. Dozen of thick metal stakes piercing the walls of my heart, blood streaming through me like a river. If I didn't force myself to face this, I was liable to run. What was the right thing to say? What was I supposed to tell her? As hard as I thought, I couldn't come up with an answer. All I came up with was intense frustration. Kill me that I couldn't take these scars from her. That I couldn't give my father a piece of my mind. You're in no way hideous, no matter what marks are left on your body. I took all I had to form a single sentence. Thank goodness, I'm so glad to hear that. When I started in that village, they said it didn't matter what they did to me because I was already dirty. They made me think I had reached the point where I was so tainted, anyone could see it. Oh, I'm sorry. Why should you apologize? You're frowning really intensely. That I made you mad. No, I'm not angry at you. I'm angry at my father, the villagers, and myself. May I touch them? You may. My hands are trembling, but I know I wouldn't be doing her any favors by hesitating. As soon as my fingertips brushed her skin, she shuddered. Does it hurt? No, there hasn't been pain in some time. I could feel her trembling where I touched her. It didn't seem like it was going to subside anytime soon. Soon she whimpered softly. Her lips moved as if she was trying to say something, but the best she managed was a few strained gasps. Tears had begun welling up in her eyes as well. I feel like I'm in heaven right now, but I also kind of hate myself. Hate yourself, but why? Because I can't stop shaking. I'm overjoyed to feel your touch, but I can't control my body. I know you're nothing like that, but I keep seeing flashes of you doing other things in my mind. It tells me that my body won't react the way I feel in my heart. I was foolish of ever thought these wounds might have healed. Just as scars remain on her body, so too do they remain in her heart. Unlike physical wounds, though, the ones inside her seem to still be raw and bleeding. She did such a good job of acting normal that I began to think she might have gotten past them. Of course not, you blind fool. Shoved me back there because it brought back those memories. That's right. I'm sorry. I'm really truly sorry. Why are you apologizing? I should be the one. Do you have any desire to place a curse on him? What? Do you want a curse Antonin? If you so desire, I might be able to make it happen. Cast a curse on him, perhaps even a fatal one. You know the fact that he's my father. I don't consider that my family anymore. Can you be honest with me? Hypothetically, such a thing were possible. Do you want to curse him? No, I would not want that. Why not? You have every right to take revenge. For that man did. He deserves punishment. He inflicted so much pain on you. You're still shaking more than a year later. And you can just let him get away with it out of the goodness of your heart. Hypothetically, if you want to curse him, I wouldn't do it even hypothetically. And not out of the goodness of my heart. I'm just a coward. A coward? Curses were real and you were to die by one. that I would never ever be able to forget. If my resentment for him took his life, it would mean he had damaged me so permanently I was never able to get past it. I don't want that. I want to be able to forget. I'm still shaken now, but one day I want to be able to proclaim proudly that it no longer is in control over me. But I appreciate the sentiment, setting aside your choices and method. You asked out of concern, and that's more than enough for me. A soft smile spread across her lips, but it all inspired me was powerless. She's putting on an act. Was sentiment really more than enough? Of course not. Not when she was still trembling so much. What was I to do? What was I, unable to leave this house and helpless against the will of the Bollingers to do? I was incapable of assuaging her pain, wasn't I? I couldn't do anything, could I? Or I thought in Italian, take some real time to think. Stop running from the problem. Figure out a real way to give her what she wants. That doesn't involve curses or angry words. It has to be something only I can do. Giselle. Took the hand that had been tracing her scars and slid it across around her waist. Even now, her trembling showed no signs of abating. I will never, the one thing I could do, hurt you again, was to wrap her trembling body in my arms. I want you here with me. All I ask of you for now is to be at my side. You can be scared and you can quiver, but please don't apologize for it. Don't feel bad about it. I promise not to turn my head away from your pain. So I ask of you, try not to keep it buried. I have no power or influence. I don't know all the right things to say. I'm a man with nothing to his name. But the one thing I do have is a heartfelt desire to do whatever I can for you. As soon as I tighten my girdle around her waist, she lurched forward, throwing her arms around me. Muffled whispers resonated against my shoulders where she had buried her head. Eventually, they grew into unfettered sobs. My bedchamber was enveloped by the sound of weeping. She cried like a little child. The usual strong-willed, cheerful, optimistic Giselle wailed from the depths of her soul. This past year, she had constantly been nudging me forward. It was always her leading the way. There had undoubtedly been moments where she had wanted to cry like this but couldn't. So starting now, I was going to try to support her too. I was sure I would mess something up. I had as little experience being caring. I would probably anger her, probably stress her out, and probably make her cry. But I found my resolve. I had overcome my hesitation. I was sure I could do it. I could create a place where she could find peace. I could surely... So I didn't stop crying until the sun again peeking over the horizon. I had, as I said, not looked away, simply holding her in silence. She had decidedly not childlike frame, but she seemed incredibly small in my arm. Felt each other's warmth in my clothes. Between sniffles, she said softly, "One day I'm certain I'll be able to without any hesitation. Be proudly joined with you, and it will be wonderful. Right now, I still can't control the shaking, but one day I want to be able to put my hands on you too." The affection infused in each and every word was palpable. Sometime later, she drifted off to sleep exhausted. I prayed from the bottom of my heart. At least tonight she'd have pleasant dreams. Oh, I think I'm gonna pause here. I'd be talking for a while. Oh. I'm getting, my back is starting to hurt, so I think I'm gonna go lie down, but I like this door, obviously. I'm excited to continue with all of our stories. All of our stories are going in crazy directions. We have Steins Gate with who knows, I'm gonna do my own research with that. I'll download Fate, you know, Fate, a frickin' White Album, who knows what the fuck's gonna happen with that, and then like, oh, and then this game, we know disaster is gonna strike somehow, but like, but yeah, it was a super fun stream. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you continue to have a good day or night. Drama stream. And I will see you guys next time, okay? So, oh, I think my game bugged. So, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night or day. Bye bye. Yup. Oh, nice. Yeah, we both for an hour. That I watched an hour and a half. Oh, okay. Morning, no afternoon. Master! Ah. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, come on, put a little more oomph into it. Same Giselle as always. I must say, last night was something, Master. I didn't know you had that in you. Ah, just thinking about it. Ow! Hey, that hurt. What was that for? I was struck with an insatiable urge to whack you. Whatever happened to your heartfelt desire to do whatever you can for me? I need to read this? Yeah, it's really good, Mystic. I hope you're doing well. I don't think hitting me counts. You're tough enough to get over a little bonk. You were being so nice yesterday. Where'd that go? My notes. Everyone's such an unreasonable C word. Kaguya is so good. I love the arm wrestling scene. Very sad. Who's Kaguya? Her psychosomatic response is to jump at his touch and more thing. Who's Kaguya? A very comfy bed game. I have it on Switch. Oh, nice. When Giselle arm wrestled Michael. Oh, I know what you're saying now. Yeah. Okay. I thought there was someone in. You were saying there's someone in the game named Kaguya, and I was so confused. So, would you like to explain why you're making dirty jokes first thing in the morning? Yeah, just trying to lighten the mood to hide my embarrassment. You're like, yes, holding hands, very lewd. Fair enough. Alright, but could you not joke about that in the future? I didn't actually do anything to you. No, you didn't, sorry. So yeah, could I ask you something? Yes. You hardly ever use my name. It makes us feel so distant. Could you do something about that, maybe? But, babe? No. That's not you at all. Just go with my name, please. We've graduated from a master-servant relationship to a romantic relationship, but that is a bit much. Romantic relationship. Exactly. So, in honor of the new us, let's make this last. Alright, Michael? Alright. All the time. The light that had entered our life seemed unreal and fantastical, but I prayed that it would indeed last. In hope of an equally bright future, I allowed myself to rejoice in the moment, letting the unconquered shadows that lurked in my peripheral remain unseen. Blackness consumes one colorful space. Giselle stands before me as she did within the door, but I struggle to reconcile the two scenes. Also, I was kind of wishing they'd just stay as friends because I want her to only be valued like that, but they had such a cute year-long friendship they won me over. Oh, I wanted them to be together. They were both real. They were both her. The lively, spunky girl of the past and the lifeless girl of the present are both Giselle. As different as they seem, they are both her. Why don't we stop there? It was a wonderful story. They overcame their troubles and lived happily ever after. Is that not good enough? Could not be worse than where we are now. All we have to do then is erase the now. Throw everything away and start over from where it was better. You were able to bear them because they weren't your tragedies. That goes for more than just me. Actually, as a matter of fact, those words apply even better to her than me. The ending is already set in stone. It's already happened. What's the point in watching it again? All that accomplishes is making me relive it all. The ending has not been written. We're both here now, which means our end still lies ahead of us. Then, can I ask you to promise not to let go of my hand no matter what? No matter what happens, you mustn't let go of my hand. Now I understand. If that was a request, even if she didn't perceive it as such. In place of a verbal response, I squeeze her hand in mine. I know where this tale is heading, towards tragedy. All the other doors we visited ended in tragedy, and ours is no exception. Perhaps what's waiting at the end of this one is even more dire than I imagined. The door I passed swings open once more, behind which lies the end of me and the beginning of her. A month has passed since the night with the rose. Right on schedule, the monthly delivery arrived, but in it was a letter that would dramatically change our lives. My father, Antonin, had fallen ill and died. I presumed it was the witch's doing, but she was silent, refusing to respond to my questions. If it wasn't her, then he must have died naturally. It seemed more than a little tasteless to celebrate someone's death, but good taste and reality do not always agree. I was extremely relieved to hear the news. The man had R-worded Giselle. He had tried to have me killed, and now he was gone from this world. I've been waiting for this moment for years. His passing had an effect as well. My death could be revoked. Many years ago, my brother had told me that when he succeeded our father, he would welcome me back to the Bollinger estate, and I could be part of the family once more, which meant that this letter signaled the end of my banishment. Not sure how to feel about it. Yeah. Rejoicing doesn't really seem appropriate. This means you can return home now, right? In theory. My brother is set to take control of the state, so he should be accommodating. So used to being an albino black sheep. I'm going to write a letter, have them send us a carriage. It isn't too much long a distance to walk. Alright. I'm excited. What should we do first when we get back to the capital? I know, how about you stop by my place? My mom and sister won't believe their eyes. Oh god, yeah, I doubt her mom and sister are okay. My time in this mansion was almost at its end. Future I had only vaguely envisioned was now within my reach. He'd always spoken of this moment, predicted would eventually, like it was some kind of unattainable fantasy. But now it was practically a reality, and I realized I hadn't actually given it much thought. Hey, are you still awake? I am. Not a great night for sleeping, huh? Are you thinking about your family? It all seems so surreal. Yeah, it does. This house is like a desert island cut off from the world, which makes everything kind of feel like a fairy tale sometimes. Even what we have. From time to time, I get the feeling that nothing is real. That the outside world is just a figment of my imagination. My entire life only ever existed within these walls. Are you nervous? Maybe I am. I always thought that when this day arrived, it would be more cathartic. Sorry, I'm finally able to take you back to the capital, and I can't seem to get past my own negativity. It's only natural to be nervous. I am too. I haven't spent nearly as long as you living in this mansion, but I know how you feel, because I feel the same way. Not knowing what the future holds, it's scary. You know, I was thinking I would be okay with staying. But I'd love to return to the capital, and I miss my family dearly. But even if I would never see them again, no way would I consider myself unhappy. I honestly think I've got a pretty wonderful life. You're not comfortable going back to that house. And you're saying you'll just endure it for me, Giselle. There are other paths we can take. You could live with your family. You can remain here in the mansion. No, I want to. No matter where you go, you'll always be there with me, Michael. It's true, I am nervous not knowing what the future holds, but not in a scared something bad might happen kind of way. More of a jittery, excited anxiousness. I'm confident the two of us can overcome anything, no matter what obstacles may come our way. Together we can create an even more wonderful future. Don't worry, Michael, the future's nothing to be afraid of. Make it sound like I'm paralyzed with fear. But you are, aren't you? Hey, no, don't give me that look. Once again, she's the one pushing me forward. And make sure you have a good, happy life. Thank you. Hehe. What? Nothing. I'm feeling kind of sentimental thinking about having only a little time left here. It wasn't perfect, but it was an important part of my life. Indeed. Say, yes. Well, think I could handle it right now, probably. I'll use your head, you little... I'm falling. Oh, how could you be so dense? This music makes you want to finish near? Oh, nice. I mean, you know, touching and so forth. You know, take the next step. Say, I'm feeling up for that right now. It's not proper for a woman to bring up that subject, is it? I did kind of ask you to wait. I feel bad leaving you on for so long. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're shaking. I'm just really emotional, that's all. You don't need to force yourself if you're not ready. I can wait as long as you need. Besides? Never mind. It's fine, there's no need to rush things. You don't need to worry. Yeah? I wrote 2 letters. One to my brother and one to my mother. One so Giselle could return, one so I could be myself, to demonstrate who I was. Prove that I was not cursed. For failing to do that would not only bring her grief, it would become the final crack in the identity I had built up for myself. I had to convince her that I was neither a demon nor angel. Little porcupine Michael finally opening up, real. But a human man who had fallen in love with a human woman. So sad this reality is gonna smack him. Bliss sigh. However, I was too foolish to realize the future I envisioned was nothing but a fantasy. Had I been able to grasp that, maybe I could have taken her somewhere far away, where no one knew who we were. Things might have turned out differently. It's been really foggy out lately. I'd rather if we left when it was clear. It'd be terrible if the coachman rolled the carriage because he couldn't see where we were going. If there wasn't so much fog, I'd probably have been able to see the little columns of orange evening sunlight fighting their way through the trees. But the milky white mist seemed to swallow up all the light, leaving nothing for the surrounding area. It was rather dreary weather. I wonder when they'll be here. Although, if they never do show up, that's okay too. I was able to finally return to the capital with Michael, to see my family again. And that was wonderful. It was like a dream come true. But it wouldn't disappoint me if that didn't end up happening. I didn't care where I ended up, as long as Michael was there with me. That's all that matters. Should probably close the windows. The coach isn't likely to show up at night, I don't think. Reached my hand to shut a window, which was when I saw something wavering beyond the heavy mist. Light? It wasn't just the one. Looking closer revealed several more flickering spots. They moved up and down slowly but rhythmically. More and more came into view, and my mind began seeing them as people carrying torches. They're coming this way. Could they bring escorts back to the capital? Though, what? As soon as I thought there, Sherlock popped in my head, something whizzed past my cheek. Oh, what was the, huh? Well, why, what? It was an arrow. Giselle! What? Ah! The arrow had flown through the window and pierced the opposite wall. Had Michael not knocked me out of the way. Giselle, are you okay? I'm fine. But what's going on? Never mind that. Right now we need to run. Oh wait, Michael. Now, there's no time to talk. Stay out of sight of the windows. Got it. Grabbed my hand and broke into a run. The relentless storm of arrows showered through the windows we had worked so hard to get open a year ago. This wasn't what we had gone through all that effort for. And once I opened the front door, run. We have to get as far away from the house as quickly as we can. What was happening? Why did we have to run? Why were those people firing arrows at us? The wave of questions came a wave of fear. I couldn't say anything. Sheer terror would froze my jaw in place. Get ready. I nodded, squeezing his hand tight. I knew it would just be another obstacle to keep his safe escape, but I didn't want to let go of his hand. I was afraid that if I did, I'd never be able to hold it again. Are you alright? I'm fine, but how? People have run too? Haha. Damn it, why? Several arrows were sticking out the floor before us. Beyond the door, which Michael managed to shut almost immediately, bringing a catastrophe of a whoosh thump, whoosh thump. We can't escape? Why? What's going on? Damn it! Deep scowl, Michael barred the door, and all the while the arrows kept flying. The panic in the air kept growing thicker. I don't understand. How did they... Only a handful of people know about this place. This is all my fault. It's because I told the villagers about this place. They think a demon lives here, not a human. So they're here to tear down the house. They made weapons both just for this. I don't... Ah! There was a deep rumble and the ground below us shook. I almost fell to the floor. Trying to break down the door, it seems. Michael, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. Because of what I did. No. What? It's not your fault, it's mine. Michael? I challenged her because I did. She made my curse real. What are you talking about, Michael? Ah! This way, run. Michael dragged me through the mansion's corridors until we reached the chamber with the stained glass window. Wait, no, let him finish. The far end of the room saw a small door. Where does it lead? I'd been aware of this door's presence, but I'd never gone inside it. Something about it seemed somewhat different than the rest of the house. I wasn't sure how to describe it exactly, but it felt like shadows had taken root here. The observation tower. A tower? But if we go up there, we're putting ourselves in a corner. Doesn't matter where we go, they have us trapped, but there's a chance that up there... He didn't finish that thought, however. He opened the door leading me to the tower, his face deathly pale. Started running again, around and around the spiral staircase, making our way to the top. In regular intervals along the wall were rectangular windows. A layer of fog still lay thick across the land. Peering out into it made me feel like we had been thrown into a dream world. If it weren't for the orange spots of torchlight surrounding the mansion, the silhouettes holding the torches, is that armor? Appeared to be knights. Michael, tell me, why do you think this is your fault? What's your curse? Your curse? Isn't it just the color of your hair and eyes, is it? It's more to it, isn't there? Something else, isn't there? Michael's gaze was firmly directed forward as he frantically led me up the stairs. We were breathing hard, and the sound of it echoed against the tower of stone walls. Our panicked hearts were beating so hard, afraid they might be able to hear it outside. Eventually made it to the top. A pile of discarded rope lay unceremoniously at the floor of the door, presumably once used to seal it shut. The door itself was deeply weathered and rotting in places. It had obviously been left sitting in disrepair even longer than Michael had lived here. What is this? Inside. Frigid air nipped at my skin, and it wasn't pleasant, refreshing kind of cold, but a bitter, oppressive cold. This room felt like unlike any other in the mansion. This is an observation tower. You came in. There once would have been windows allowing you to see in all directions around the mansion, but all that remains now is that tiny opening in the cellar. If we hide out here, there's a chance they may not find us. It was like they broke down the door. Don't worry, they won't find us. And when they give up their search, we can get out of here. I'm sure it will turn out alright. Michael's voice was quivering as his hand was in mine. Michael. Huddled together, feeling each other's warmth in our arms. My free hand clenched his shirt for dear life. I'm sorry. What? I'm to blame for this. It's my fault you're in this mess. Pain you've had to experience. You're being sent to this place. What's happening now? It all be traced back to me being born. I'm so sorry. Why was he apologizing? Why did he insist this was his fault? Why wouldn't he tell me what his curse was? Why were people trying to kill us? Right, those people were trying to kill us. Putting into words like that made the fear much more real. The arrows they fired were threats. They aimed to kill us. Michael. With Michael trembling in my arms, I couldn't bring myself to ask those questions. What meaning would those answers have with death lurking so close behind us? All I could do was pray. Pray that he was right, that they wouldn't find us and we'd be able to escape. However, over here there's a door and stairs leading up. My hopes were shattered by the sound of voices from below. I could hear a faint clanking of armor. Our grips on each other tightened. Our trembling intensified. Fear swelled within the tower, making us its slaves. Giselle. We were both terrified, and who wouldn't be? Fairy tale heroes can be magically courageous in the face of overwhelming danger, but they weren't real. The fear of my impending death, drawing nearer and nearer with each passing moment, almost drove me to madness. I couldn't think clearly. My heart was having trouble keeping up. My head was a big white mess. We were supposed to return to the capital, start a new life. Finally obtain our happiness. It was right there at our fingertips. Enough happiness to make up for Michael's 10 years of... Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if they capture them instead of killing them, and Giselle becomes a maid and goes through a bunch of shit for years, and that's why she's stuck in the, like, maid mode. And enough to erase that nightmare from my memory forever. What had we done to have that taken away from us? We just loved each other and wanted a quiet life together, nothing outrageous. I don't want to die. What scares me the most was being separated from Michael. Hey Michael, what are those people really doing here? If they're after money or valuables, we can offer them everything in the mansion. They don't need any of it. They don't want us to return to the capital. We can tell them we'll stay here. They might be willing to talk it over. I don't care if there's anything else. As long as I have you, I can survive anywhere. All that mattered was that we had our life. I don't know, she's been threatened with some not chill stuff from the villagers. Although these are nice. Yeah, these are from Michael's family, I think. So long as the two of us still breathe, but death. Death to the unholy one. Death to the heretic. Death to the witch. Despair hung over us like the fog outside. There are no heretics, no witches, no unholy ones here. They would probably never listen to us. The moment we stepped outside of this room, we would be dead no matter what we said. Michael, I'm alright. It's okay, Michael, I'm not scared. You're here with me after all. It's fine, I'm all fine, so please hold me until it's all over. Please stay with me. Oh, finally you speak. Michael? He wasn't looking at me though. His unfocused eyes were directed upward, not toward any particular point, but wandering aimlessly. His purplish lips appeared to move as though he was speaking, but no sound came out. Hey, Michael, are you alright? Come back to me, Michael. I grabbed him by the shoulders and shook, but he didn't even seem to notice. No matter how many times I called him, he didn't look down from the emptiness above. Or a witch. Michael, Giselle. Finally, after too far long, his gaze slid down to meet mine. He looked defeated, exhausted, and cornered all at once. I was scared too, but his fear seemed to have consumed him entirely. Please hear me out, Giselle. I never thought anything good would become of my life. I never thought I'd find anyone who truly understood me and who would be happy to have my love, and for that I hated the world. I was in constant torment, living in the shadows, but then a single ray of light shone down on me. My God, you, Giselle. You delivered me from the darkness. I'm scared, Giselle. I'm terrified. I used to think my life was meaningless. It didn't matter if I lived or died. But now I can't stop shaking. That's perfectly normal. I'm scared to death too, but what scares me most is losing you. My God. Should have noticed. Noticed his arms were tensing up. Noticed and stopped him. So please allow me to repay you. Did I do anything for you? So let me do this. I haven't given you anything. I haven't done anything for you. So give me one final chance. Michael! I have a feeling he's gonna do that. Well, what are you doing? Get back in here, Michael! Why the door? I can't open it! I shoved the door trying to go after him, but it wouldn't budge even the slightest bit. It was as though there had never been a door there at all, merely a wall disguised as one. It wasn't someone holding it shut from the other side either. Question I pulled with all my might, but I couldn't even manage to eke out the tiniest crack. Michael, Michael, what did you do at the door? Come on, get back in here. I don't want to lose you either. Say something, Michael, you're out there, aren't you? Please, please don't do anything rash. They're gonna kill you if you're out there. Giselle, the witch, told me. What? She would ensure your safety. Well, Michael, she isn't real. There's no witch talking to you. It's all in your head. Figment of your imagination, created to alleviate your loneliness. Rest assured, she does not lie. Michael, please listen. You're a wonderful woman, Giselle. Spirited, true to yourself, deeply sympathetic. You're not to blame for how difficult your life has been. Most of the fault lies with me and a bit of bad fortune, but that's all behind you now. Once this is over, you can start anew. What are you talking about? You survive, live a good, fulfilling life. Move past this, live your life, and always love your family. I know you can do it. That's my wish for you. No, I don't want that. I want to be with you. No one else but you. I don't want to let you die. There it is. Death to the heretic. Death to the heretic. Death to the heretic. Get back in here, Mike. Open the door. If my choices live on without you, I'd rather... Your scars will heal. You'll find a nice man and have a wonderful family. Why? Thank you, Giselle, for bringing light to my world. Don't say that, but if there's a next life, I hope you don't mind if I pray we're able to meet again. We can find each other once more in another world. Michael! Michael. It is our holy duty as knights of the church to deliver punishment unto the heathen who made a pact with the devil. Come on, Michael, open up the door! You are sentenced to death, your body to be hanged upon the cross for 3 days and 3 nights, wherein your unholy flesh shall be purified with the fires of heaven. Why? What are you doing here? Open the door, Michael, please. Listen to me. You can hear me out. You can hear me out there, can you? You shall now be executed. Huh. You have any final words? Who is it you're sentencing to death? Michael Bollinger, or a demon child, naturally, or a witch, perhaps? Please open the door. Why will you open it? He isn't unholy or impure. He's a perfectly normal human and a very sweet man. Yes, I'm the witch. The witch is in here. The one you want to execute. Kill me. Execute me. Now I see, Giselle, this world. Kill him. No, not the handsome man. So many blades pierced my flesh. I remember I cried at the scene back then. I was such a crybaby. Aww. Sword in my chest, lances in my arms and shoulders, arrows in both of my legs. I could hardly even tell what hurt anymore. There's an unpleasant hiss in the tower, almost heavy like a rain. It's the sound of my blood spilling onto the stone. Red. It was red just like anyone else's blood. Didn't flow in unnatural patterns. Didn't turn to black demonic shadows. It didn't cause anyone who touched it harm. It was just ordinary red blood. Regardless, the body was still cursed. It had to be. Couldn't hear Giselle's voice anymore. I hope she was safe and alive. Prayed that at least she'd be protected. The witch would keep her promise. It's getting dark. Light was quickly departing from my world. Darkness everlasting dragged me down to its pits. I believed in you. Michael? Michael, hey, say something, talk to me. Hey, what's going on here? I know this can't be happening. An impossibly heavy thud came from beyond the door, and with it, Michael fell silent. Then intermittent, squelching sounds as something slid down the door. Oh, no, this can't be. Why? I pounded on the door with all my strength, but it still refused to give. Skin on my hands eventually going raw, I'm beginning to see blood. Why? Why should Michael have to be killed? Tell me why. Take me with you. Please don't leave me behind. The man isn't a witch. He isn't cursed. I'm cursed, not him. So don't hang him. Don't humiliate him like that. Kill me instead, please. Again and again, I pounded on the door. But the self-discarded knights on the other side seemed to not even be aware of my presence. They seemed unable to hear my cries. Damn, I made it in time for this scene. Hey, Felix. Their armor clanking with each step, they began to descend the staircase, and with it, I could hear the sound of something being dragged slowly across the floor. No, don't take him away. Stop, don't take Michael away from me. I'm begging you. But my pleas were in vain. My hope was for naught. The nights took him away, took him somewhere out of my reach for all eternity. Don't take him away from me! Michael. After much too long, the door swung open all on its own. It happened to be so unceremoniously, it was hard to believe I had actually been trapped inside. I had no idea how much time had passed, but the chill in the air suggested it was deep into the night, and with the biting cold, there was the stench of blood. Aww. Why? Why? Michael? I never wanted this. You didn't understand at all, Michael. You didn't know the depths of my feelings for you. You didn't know how intensely I wanted you, how fervently I loved you. I was never going to be able to find someone else and live happily with them. It had to be you. The thought of anyone else touching me terrified me. You just didn't understand. I don't want to live in this stupid world. The time I spent with you truly was the happiest time of my life. I remember everything now. You died on that day. You were killed. You disappeared from this world and left me behind. That's right, I remember. Remember the pain, the agony of death, and the fear. So how's he here right now? I did indeed die that day. You refused to listen to me. Do you have any idea how it felt to feel you dying from the other side of the door? Giselle, I wanted you to take me with you. Was that what you wanted? Was that what you so wanted to see? My memories, the traces of my life on this earth, and there. In order to find your truth, we need more of the story. Very well then. If you want more of the story, I'll tell you more. Comes next is both a continuation and a brand new tale, The Maid's Tale. When you've heard it all, I expect you to commend me for not forgetting how to smile. Dang. We haven't completely cut through the darkness yet. An arctic wind blows past me. At the same time, I'm gripped with an overwhelming urge to break down in tears. Perhaps this is the solitude she felt for so long. I have to face this. I have a responsibility to her to do so. And I have to atone for being such a misguided fool those many years ago, convinced I was doing what was best. Were you checking the backlog every now and then for the secret messages? Not in this chapter, I didn't know. Ooh, the 6th door. I don't know, was there stuff? It didn't seem like in this chapter. I did in the other chapter, but I didn't think there was in this one. This is my tale and the maid's tale. I think I might save here though. I'm feeling like I don't think there's any of that after episode 4. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm feeling super tired, guys. Like, I'm just exhausted. I know it was a super short stream. Well, we got to the next chapter. We finished the Suzuha ending, and I have Fate downloaded, so that we'll do that next time. Gotcha, remember there was, but didn't remember when exactly. Oh, yeah, no problem. No problem. But yeah, I did. We checked the backlog during that chapter a lot. That was crazy. I'm excited to learn more, but I feel so bad for Giselle. Fate won, huh? You don't like Fate? It was tied between Fate and Amori, but because we're playing Fata, we decided to wait for Amori because it's not voice acted either. You know, I have a few friends who are... Also, I have a question for those of you who like Fate. I've watched this anime forever ago called Prisma Ilia. Is that a part of the Fate franchise or is that not? Because people always say, oh, so you like Fate whenever I say that, and I'm like, what? Yeah? Oh, that makes sense. So I guess I've seen part of Fate. That was forever ago. Ugh. But yeah, guys, I don't know. I'm just super tired today. It's a spin-off of the main. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I understand now. Well, I liked it. I think I saw it like when I was in high school. But yeah, so I have Fate downloaded and I'll be got the Mondays already. Oh, for real. No, not Monday, tomorrow. What? Yeah, I have some shit to do tomorrow, but I'm super pooped. I'm hoping to stream a little bit earlier tomorrow, but you know, who knows? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I will be. We'll stream Fate, we'll go on to the new door of Fata, probably. You know, maybe play some White Album. We might have to start over in Steins Gate and like fiddle with all the options and pick the routes and stuff, but it will be so fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry it's a little bit shorter like I said, but I hope you liked it regardless. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night and you take care. And yeah, thanks again for being here. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye bye. Hi, Titi. My kitty wants attention. Yes, she does. Hi, Titi. So cute. So cute. Okay. This story is interesting. Nice. This is my tale and the maid's tale. A tale of a foolish, naive girl. Looking back on it now, I'm ashamed of everything. But I will tell you my story in its entirety, without embellishments. I ask that you please not let go of my hand. The only things the knife left behind were a garment and a large pool of your blood. Blood had seeped into the fabric, and it was beginning to dry. When I clenched it in my hand and made soft crackling sounds, the oppressive stench of death lingered in the tower. Michael, there's no point in a life without you. You know that, right? Have a wonderful family. You know I can't do that. Hey, Michael, answer me. Come back to me. I don't care if it's as a ghost. I just need you here with me. Come back to me. Talk to me about nothing and about everything. Be irritated with me when I do something stupid. Scoff at me whenever I tell a bad joke. Trounce me at chess again. Put your arms around me one more time. Come on, I'm begging you. If you won't come back to me, then I'll go to you. I don't care if it's not what you wanted from me. A world without you is meaningless. Dying won't guarantee you get to see him again. He spends all this time refusing to talk to me, and when he finally does, he begs me to save his love. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Rather disappointing, to be honest. Who are you? Where are you? Quite daft, aren't you? Within these walls I'm everywhere. And you've heard of me before. What? I have no... Heavens, you are slow. Is that pretty head of yours only for decoration? What? But there's no one else. You might be thicker than these walls, my dear. But I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. You never did believe anything Michael said about me. You thought he was going mad. This is brilliant. No, there's no way it can't be. The cursed witch Morgana? Oh, you even know my name, do you? To appear my Morgana survived longer than I expected. I suppose I should thank all the humans who passed it down for me. You actually exist. I most certainly do, my dear. As I recall, you don't believe in the supernatural, do you? It's hard to deny when the very witch is talking to you at this moment. Michael's not even slightly mad, my dear. I told him he was better off without his sanity, but he refused to listen. He wasn't deranged, his surroundings were. His environment, the people around him, his whole world. Can you imagine how dreadful that must have been? To be only a sane resident in a world gone utterly mad. It's a miracle he managed to keep his head. I remember what you said just before he died, my dear. You said it was all in his head. You said he couldn't tell the difference between illusions and reality. You said he had long since gone insane. Shouted at the top of your lungs. No, that's not what I meant. Poor Michael. Only you'd believed him but the witch. I feel bad for you too, though. You have my pity. What did you ever do to deserve this? Oh, just to be perfectly clear, I played no part in either your or Michael's misfortune. The only force to blame for that is fate. You're a good, honest, joyful, lovable woman, and look how the world treated you. May I ask you something? Was it you who sealed me in the tower? Yes, it was. That was what Michael wanted. Once I told him I would grant his wish, so I did as he asked. It looks like that ended up causing even more pain. How tragic. So, planning to die? Are you hoping to reunite with him in heaven? That plan destined to fail from the outset, my dear. God teaches us that suicide is a sin, and you'll go to hell for it. Then, I will not kill you. Why not? Because I swore to Michael that I would save your life. Poor Giselle. If you have any other wish, I'll be happy to grant it. I can't bear to see you so miserable. A wish? I have but a single desire right now. See him once more. Isn't that right, Giselle? Are you saying you can make that happen? You'll bring that to life for me? The forces of life and death are outside of my realm. That is God's territory, the angels. However, I can guarantee you this. His reincarnation, no, his reconstruction. His reconstruction? Yes. You can meet him again, not in this life, in some future life. Just imagine it. Finding your beloved again after overcoming so much tragedy. 10, 20, maybe 100 long years from now, you're finally reunited. Doesn't that sound marvelous? True unparalleled love in its purest form. What do you think? Just because you can bring back his soul back doesn't make up Michael. I want to be with him, that brusque, impenetrable, slightly immature, but gentle as a butterfly man, the man who sincerely, deeply loved me. If it's the same soul in a different body, can you still call him my Michael? Yeah, ha 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 ha. Oh, my apologies. You beat me to the punchline, and you did so with such ardor you threw me off balance. You're exactly right. The idea that if your love is strong enough, you can both be reborn and have exactly the same relationship is utter fairy tale nonsense. You must be the same people that have the same love, which is why I'm not promising as your birth or reincarnation, but as reconstruction. Your wish can become reality, so long as you wish for it with all your heart, it can come true. I'll wish for his reconstruction as well. You have a witch asking you to make this happen, dear, so you can be confident that it will bear fruit. And you wish for him to remain as himself. If he truly loves you, and he too wishes to reunite with you, your wish shall be granted. Will you really wish with me? I most certainly will, my poor, pitiful, dear Giselle. I shall offer up my most heartfelt prayers for you. I'll wish for it. Till the moment of my death, I'll keep wishing for us to be reunited as the same people. I can't guarantee your reconstruction, though. What? I said I only guaranteed his. Michael's is the only reconstruction I will wish for. He will not ask for yours. Well, why not? You're not looking at a benevolent, wish-granting goddess or an angel with a magic bow and arrow. You're looking at a cursed witch. Then how am I to be with him again? I can offer you but one option that will allow you to reunite with your reconstructed Michael. So tell me, what do I have to do? You must live here with me. Live with you? What do you mean? It was Michael who resurrected me, but he cannot serve as my guide. I have work to do, but I cannot do it alone. I need a guide to assist me. Because as you can see, I have no body. If this house did not exist in this world, perhaps I might be able to give myself this form. My soul's form. I don't understand anything you're saying. You don't need to understand. All I need from you is for you to show your utmost hospitality to the people I'm expecting to show up at this mansion someday. Entertain your guests. That's right, my dear. Michael isn't the only one whose reconstruction I'm wishing for. There are others. Several heinous sinners. So I want you to serve as a maid and watch over them when they arrive. Until then, keep the house in good condition. What are you scheming? Is that something you truly need to know, my dear? All I need you to do is wish. Pray for the day your beloved appears before you again. For the day he wraps his arms around you once more. One word, Giselle. That's all I require. Do you want to see him again? Do you want to hear his voice again? I can promise you you'll have your happiness back. What reason is there to hesitate? There isn't one. Are you simply going to give up? I wonder what would happen if you said no. If you disappear from this world, how will Michael react when he comes back? Will he be sad, angry, or will he forget about you? Fall into the arms of another woman? No, he can't. Then make up your mind. Will you come with me or will you throw it all away? If I'd given it a little thought, I would have realized she was manipulating me. That she was just telling me what I wanted to hear, but I believed her. I accepted her proposition. And as unbelievable as it sounded, my desire for it to be real overpowered everything. It was impossible not to grasp at the straw she was dangling in front of me. That was all I could do at the time. Dochi's voice also had an inexplicable power to it. Made me believe, as outrageous as it was, that she really could bring you back and reconstruct you. Maybe because I had seen her turn a door into an unmovable wall, or maybe because I had heard her disembodied voice. But I don't think those are enough to explain it. My guess is she had me under her spell. It was the moment I became the maid. I assure you, I was at that point still the same Giselle you knew and loved. Sound of rain never seems to stop. I'm hallucinating it, maybe. From the moment I lent my ear to the witch's sleep temptations, the mansion underwent an unimaginable transformation. No light shone through the windows, despite them all being unobstructed, not morning, day, or evening. In fact, the concept of morning, day, and evening did not seem to exist. The darkness resembled that of when the windows had been sealed off, but there was something more fundamentally unreal about it. Like it was hovering over a vast, all-consuming abyss within a constant haze of malice. Felt like I had been cast into some unknown realm, and that was why there was nothing beyond the windows. And that the house was not the only thing that underwent changes. I too was no exception. In the blink of my eye, all my basic human urges vanished. I stopped feeling hungry, and I no longer needed sleep. Naturally, I was bewildered by what was happening to me, what I was turning into. I think I'll take a look around. Maybe there have been other changes. So I meandered through the mansion's halls. My original intent was to explore the entire house, but I found myself drawn towards one room in particular. To right, your bedchamber. There is no light, not a trace of color remaining in your chambers. But the bed was still the same shape, the walls still the same texture, the curtains the same design as when you'd been alive. Michael, I'm praying, I'm always praying, that someday we'll meet again. Oh, there's something hidden under the bed. What could it be? It's that painting. I never did get to ask why he got so angry about me seeing this. Sure, it's something he didn't want to be reminded of. Perhaps having to do with his family. I was right not pressing him about it. What? Oh, what the? Did the painting just smirk at me? Hi, Golden Sorcerer. Now, Golden, I have a question. Am I remembering correctly that you said there was no more sex scenes in White Album? It's going good, thank you. Hope you're doing well. One more? I was sure you said there was no more, and so earlier I accidentally flashed a titty and I got very upset. Because I was not expecting another sex scene. I was sure there was no more. I thought that one we had last time was the last one. Oh god. Ah. Oh jeez, Giselle. What are you doing tripping over yourself? I was just that accursed witch messing with your head. No need to get spooked over a tasteless prank. Oh, when I stumbled, I guess I knocked a drawer open. Something inside. Letters, it looks like? I shouldn't touch these, they're not mine, but I want something of Michael's to have. Something to remember him by. His letters would be in his handwriting. They would contain his words. Please forgive me, Michael. I don't mean you any ill will, but I'm gonna take these. Must say, they're an impressive number. Eek! What on earth? It's like something dumped in inkwell on every page, but why? Was this the witch's doing too? Yeah, it has to be. It must have been her. Ouch, don't worry. As long as it's fast, nothing will happen. Yeah. Well, I'm a pretty small channel, so probably nothing will happen. It definitely wasn't you, Michael, was it? Front door. I wonder what it's like outside. I can't get it open. What's going on? The fire isn't set, but it won't budge an inch. Just like up in the tower. I know, the windows. That seems very important and wholesome and sad. It should be open, then I can... What's going on here? What the heck is going on? It's like there's an invisible wall in front of the windows. My hand won't go any farther. This is rich. What else can I do but laugh? What in the world? This is madness. Go. Hurry up, Michael. Return to me and get me out of here. Please get me out of here. This is madness. No, this is Fata. Hi, Strange. How are you? I had no idea how to explain anything that had happened to the mansion. But it was clear enough that I was imprisoned within its walls. Something big happened in White Album earlier. Strange. But it was clear enough that I was imprisoned within its walls. I was all alone in a nebulous sphere of bleak darkness, and beyond its walls lay void. The layout of the house remained unchanged, but I felt as though I had wandered into a twisting labyrinth. I could cry, but there was no one there to soothe me. All it did was provoke her disembodied cackling, which she followed with, "You can choose this, my dear. So you chose this, my dear, so you need to hold yourself together and keep wishing." My only real pastime was cleaning. I dusted the same corners again and again, swept the floors, polished the same dishes. One day I decided I would read books left in the library. Despite there being more than 100 volumes, I finished every one of them in what felt like no time at all. My life was a never-ending cycle. Day in and day out, day in and day out. The house had no visitors. No one, rather nothing at all, set foot upon the property. There were no signs of other life whatsoever there. No birds singing in the morning, no cats sunbathing in the garden, no mice scurrying about the kitchen, no creepy crawly insects. There was nothing at all. The only thing that broke the long stretches of silence was her voice. Tell me, was she kind to you? Was she friendly and courteous? Because she was quite harsh when she spoke to me. These were the kinds of things she was always saying to me. He didn't show up today, did he, my dear? Are you still praying, my dear? Do you think he'll actually come, my dear? I'm still wishing, just like I promised, my dear. You know why he hasn't come for you, my dear? Because perhaps he doesn't actually love you as much as you thought. My dear, my dear, my dear. Have you lost your mind yet? Shut up, I've had enough, I'm done with you. Ha ha ha. Enough, please already. Oh, what's got you so worked up? You love to talk, don't you? So why not have a nice little chat with me? This is not a chat. Maybe not in your mind, my dear. You seem to think that chatting only constitutes conversations you enjoy. But I don't think the word's usage needs to be so restricted personally. You're just getting off and watching me squirm. Oh, not at all. You'll have all my best wishes if he ever does show up for you. Oh, so scary. If you're making that face when he shows up, he might not even recognize you. What? You haven't looked in a mirror recently, have you? Come on then, my dear. Just see how frightful you've become. No, the witch was right. I looked nightmarish. My face was pale and lifeless, my eyes hollow, my cheeks sunken, heavy bags beneath my eyes. My hair had lost its sheen and it grew wildly. It was quickly losing everything that made me recognizable as me, and the thought should have sent a shiver down my spine. No, this isn't me. This is some kind of trick. You're trying to deceive me. Baseless accusations. You really must stop blaming people every time something doesn't turn out the way you want, my dear. But, my face was more what? More expressive, more cheerful, brighter, rosier. You're right, you were never this gloomy, were you? Right, I wasn't. I was always more cheerful than this. Naive girl. Could you be any more narcissistic? Huh? What you're looking at is undeniably exactly what you look like now. Time did that to you, nor did I. Oh, time did not do that to you, nor did I. The negative energy oozing from within you is what's causing you to take on this form. Did you think you didn't have any dark, ugly emotions inside you? Did you believe you would always be able to smile no matter what? Did you assume you were just pure and beautiful? No one like that exists, my dear. What you see in the mirror is the true you, your hideous, twisted heart. If you weren't always being so nasty, this would have never happened. Anyone's heart would be twisted listening to you long enough. Sir sings, Michael's heart was twisted too. I spoke to him for years. No. I'm just teasing. I supposedly may have crossed the line there. I mean, you know, I will, Giselle, honest. Let me give you one word of advice, though. Look at yourself in the mirror often. If you continue deteriorating at this rate and end up looking like a corpse, when Michael comes to see you, he won't jump for joy, but run away screaming in terror. Stop talking. Please just stop. You know, Giselle, this is only the very beginning. He might not show up for hundreds of years. I can't live that long. Absolutely brilliant. You still think you're alive? What? The moment you agreed to come with me, you ceased to be of this world. So don't worry about time, my dear. You can wait as long as it takes. As long as it takes for him to arrive. Hee hee hee. As the witch had suggested, I started checking my appearance in the mirror every day. I wanted to ensure I didn't turn into some horrifying creature. My hair grew, so the time seemed to be passing, but I didn't appear to age at all. The flow of time had become perplexingly vague and uncertain. Was it stopped or was it moving? I couldn't tell. On occasion, I would practice smiling in front of the mirror. My smile was, after all, my one really distinctive feature. I was certain you had seen me smiling more than anything. Even if my appearance had changed drastically, I thought, you would still be able to recognize me by my smile. A woman standing alone in front of the mirror practicing how to smile. I'm sure that was quite the comical sight. And that was about how my days went for an incomprehensibly long time. For the first 100 years, I kept track of how much time had passed. An hour a day, a month a year, 10 years, 50. But once I had surpassed a person's average lifespan, the counting started driving me mad, so I stopped. My sense of time began to numb. In place of sleep, I spent my days in a trance-like state. Doing so, I was less aware of the passage of time, which made it a little easier to bear. Suspended in this bubble of time, my mind went out to you. The next thing I lost a sense of was myself. I lived as a human for 21 years. After spending nearly 10 times that trapped in the mansion, I began to feel like that was all I had ever been. That maybe my past was all a construction of my imagination. That, as an otherworldly being, I merely fantasized about being human. Had I actually had a family? Had there actually been other people in the world? Did cities and villages really exist? Was there ever really a time where light shone through the windows when we were happy? But I knew if I started doubting everything, I wouldn't be able to maintain myself. So I settled on believing in one thing: that you, Michael, were real. That you had been with me, that I had loved you, and that it was you I was waiting for. I tried to always remember that one fact. My characteristic energy and cheer were disappointing, but then I hardly ever raised my voice anymore, and in response to that change, the witch seemed to treat me a little nicer. On occasion, I thought I could sense her presence nearby, like she might reveal her form to me from beyond the darkness, instead of only speaking to me. I could feel her sitting behind me. Giselle, do you think you're still Giselle even now? Suppose it doesn't matter either way. Sometimes I think love is fanaticism are two sides of the same coin. What are you implying? Oh, nothing. I have an idea though. Why don't we make you some new clothes, my dear? The loom should still work thanks to your keeping everything in order. That outfit's an artifact of an age long past by now. You know how long it's been? Vaguely, but yes. As we speak, time still marches onward, not too quickly, not too slowly, but at the same pace as you're breathing. Now on your feet, Giselle. We have plenty of time, so let's make you the perfect maid's outfit. If we don't have enough materials, we can make more thread from the sheets or curtains. How exciting. Following her instructions, I wove garments in a style that did not exist in my era. They were quite strange to behold. The old me might have been stricken with fascination by them, but at that point I wasn't even sure how to rejoice, how to be impressed, or how to be moved anymore. Sounds like rain again. What year is it? Oh, it doesn't matter what year it is. Doesn't matter where it is. As long as you're there, it can be any time, anywhere. Where are you, Michael? What are you doing? I'm still praying. I'm still wishing for you to appear before me. Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. I've been praying for so long. I don't even know how long it's been. Before you left, you said you're gonna pray too. You said you hope we can meet again in another life. I'm not misremembering, am I? Michael, come back to me soon. I love you so, so very much. But my memories of you are starting to fade. What did your voice sound like? What kind of faces did you make? Where did you like to put your hands on me? I don't want to forget. I want to always remember. My memories of you are the only thing holding me together. They're slipping away from me. How did you speak? What kinds of things did you talk about? I'm losing all these memories. Please, Michael, come back to me. Before I forget everything. My beloved master. Oh, that's why she was calling us master when we first got here. Makes sense. The thought crossed my mind that maybe Morgana's guarantee that you would be reconstructed was just a lie to trick me into staying here, but I quickly discarded that, because if she had been lying, I would strip all meaning from my very existence. It would take from me my purpose for being here, so I didn't want to accept that possibility. I had no choice but to preserve my belief that you would return. I had always thought I would be alright, that my faith would never waver. I still believed in myself. But you can be the happiest, most optimistic, resolute person in the world, and you will still break eventually. and I was at the point where even the slightest tap would shatter me into fragments. Several hundred years after I was enslaved within the mansion, something changed for the very first time. Sunlight, which I had not seen all that time, shone from the outside. Oh yeah, do we know exactly what country this place takes in? No, I don't know. Probably England. Maybe the mansion isn't always in the same place. I don't know. First, I did not believe it was real. Well, we know it's not an Asian country, because they view Asian people as foreigners. Jayco said the mansion was in the New World. Oh, maybe we're in America then, because the New World is America. At first, I did not believe it was real. I thought it was a hallucination born of my inner desires. I thought I must have completely lost it for my fantasies to have escaped my mind. It didn't matter if it was all an illusion. The gentle breeze blowing in through the window felt wonderful. The smell of the grass, the chirping of the birds, the glistening of the blue sky, it was like 1,000 memories rushing back all at once, and it brought tears to my eyes. Time has come, Giselle. It's time for you to get to work. And as she always did, the witch's voice crushed my elation, dragged me back to reality. Reveling in the sight of the outside was the last thing I should have been doing, for it was that moment that began my true decline. Work? What kind of work? Have you already forgotten? Oh, good heavens. Do you have your head on straight, my dear? As I said, I need you to watch over the house, and show your utmost hospitality to those who show up. This is merely an appetizer. It looks like someone's here. Oh, hold on, I know what I'm supposed to do. Do the same thing you have been doing, be a maid. Convince the house guests this is a wonderful place. Make them enjoy their stay. Now go on. I'm quite looking forward to this. The bar's been removed. Will the door open? So long, the door had refused to budge. For so long, light had forsaken these halls. For so long, there had been no trace of life. And now all of that had turned on its head. It felt like I had stepped into heaven on earth. I know it sounds melodramatic, so please don't laugh. It was almost certainly a perfect, ordinary slice of nature. The leaves and grass and rustled in the wind, flowers specked the earth, and in the distance was a city I didn't recognize. Wondered where I was, of course, but I neither shouted nor jumped in surprise. Instead, I found myself accepting of my circumstances as unnatural as they might have been. As I was standing there idly before the entrance, a carriage rolled up. By the way, in the age scene you're on White Elm Tree was really short. Might be why Golden forgot. Well, apparently he didn't, say that was I don't know. I was under the impression that there were no more, but maybe I just remembered wrong. Egad, could this road be any bloody worse? It's in dire need of paving, on top of everything else. And who might you be, young lady? I thought the same too. That outfit. He's speaking in a different language. The middle-aged man approached me. From his attire and the way he held himself, he appeared to be upper class. However, the words coming out of his mouth were not in the language I had grown up speaking. Could the mansion have moved somewhere far, far away? Naturally, I had no idea how such a thing was possible. Thought you meant an SC. It moves? I don't know. Howl's Moving Castle? And the longer I stood there staring at him absentmindedly, the more incredulous he became. My immediate mission was to overcome the language barrier. Fortunately, I suppose I was able to understand bits and pieces of what he had said. As merchants in the capital, my family did business with people from other countries, and as a result, I had learned handfuls of words. Hal is such a prissy boy. Shut up! He's my type! You're a prissy bitch! The problem was, it had been so long I had no confidence whatsoever in my ability to hold a conversation. I am a servant. servant. Can't say I remember asking for a lady servant, but I suppose things do happen. Doesn't matter much who they sent. Who are you? You weren't informed. Bloody hell, off to a great start, I see. But what can you do, I guess? Name's Hayden Rhodes. Just a retired old man. So I'm sure you've already guessed, this man was the Rhodes siblings' grandfather. He's also the first person I served under as the maid. A member of an esteemed noble family, Hayden was a bit on the eccentric side. He only hired a handful of servants, claiming he was not fond of clamor. There is a single chef, a physician, a servant to take care of all the cleaning, and then me, who served as his personal assistant. Whenever he got the chance, Hayden would chase me down and make me practice proper etiquette. According to him, I had much to learn. You are at least technically a servant of the Rhodes family, young lady, so I can't have you going around playing the country bumpkin act. Yes, sir. I imagine this guy's a French aristocrat with a powdered face and socks over pants. He said egad, so I think he's British. Cause who the fuck else says egad? And we'll have to do something about that accent too while we're at it. I have an accent? Thicker than bloody molasses. Now, I have no interest in sticking my nose into your business, asking where you hail from. Rhodes is British too, still though. You're just continually saying wrong shit, Strange. First about my man Howell, and now this. But while you're here, you must act the part, young lady. Lucky for you, I'm retired and have all the time in the world. I'll teach you everything you need to know about proper etiquette. Alright. Speak up, will ya? Alright, yes sir! I heard that you can get Mew if you look under the truck. What truck? I love Mew. The Pokemon? What truck? Oops. Hayden did not go easy on me either. In addition to my day-to-day duties, I studied etiquette, the language, proper pronunciation, and formal diction. It's like a myth? Oh, that's an ancient lie about Pokemon? I don't get it. Anytime I made the slightest mistake, he would shout his dissatisfaction. Listen carefully. A servant is the face of the house. A servant's gaff is her master's gaff. Always keep this in mind. You're not just a maid. You must always act with elegance and grace. You must always maintain your composure, even if the house is falling down around you. In the 90s, people said that you could find a Mew if you looked under a truck in red and blue. Oh, interesting. Whatever happens, you deal with it quickly and quietly. Your language must be immaculate. No uhs or pauses, for any reason. Yes, sir. No stammering either. Sorry! I don't know what I'm going. Bloody hell! You are not going to make this easy, are you? Whose idea was it that a country bumpkin would make a good servant? I'd like to give him a piece of my mind. I'd like to fucking kill you. In a video game. I'm not from the country. So you're gonna make her accent British after her training? I don't know, that's a good question. Not even slightly, I was raised in the capital. Is that so, eh? A prim and proper city girl, are ya? In that case, you should be quick study. Absolutely. I can learn anything in a week tops, piece of cake. Is that so? Alright then, starting tomorrow, I'm tripling your lessons. I didn't think this through. In addition to being my master, Hayden was my teacher. When he yelled, he grew twice his size. I shrunk to half mine. But it wasn't all an unpleasant experience, because I knew he wasn't raising his voice to belittle me. His instruction may have been harsh, but it was human interaction. There were people around that I could talk to, and that was wonderful. Starting to regain some of my humanity. Unlike me, you've still got a long life ahead of you, young lady. I don't know what kind of life you've lived, but I can't imagine it's been all that easy. Not many servant girls your age without a home to go back to, which is why you need to learn this. Once you've got all the rules and customs down, you'll be able to hold your own at any noble's estate. You shouldn't have any trouble keeping yourself employed. I'm sure you think I'm just a loud, obnoxious man, but I believe we met for a reason, so I hope you'll stick with me. Don't think about you like that at all, Master. You're a remarkable man. One more time. I deeply appreciate your generous consideration, Master, from the bottom of my heart. I didn't know much about Hayden's situation, why he had retired to this mansion all alone, away from the rest of his family. But any time I asked about them, he would say, "It happens sometimes," with a melancholic frown. Before long, 2 years had passed. By that point, my etiquette had improved enough to satisfy his high standards. In that time, the mansion underwent a number of decor changes, as Hayden brought in a sculptors to work on different areas of the house. He also sealed off rooms that were not in use, such as the observation tower and the chapel. It was a sad thing seeing areas with so many memories for me falling into disuse, but as a mere servant, I had no say in this matter. In addition, Hayden seemed to greatly enjoy renovating the house, so I watched him warmly. The furniture was all gradually replaced, gorgeous paintings hung on the walls, colorfully patterned curtains installed. And a brilliant rose garden planted. These roses come from all across the world. Nowhere else can you see so many different varieties in one place. It's beautiful. Did you know in the city people are starting to call the mansion Rose Manor? Rose Manor. To think there used to be nothing but weeds here. Amazing how much it's changed. Never thought I'd see this garden turn into something so beautiful. Are you fond of roses, young lady? Yes, red ones especially. Red roses mean a great deal to me. They remind me of a long time past. Given as a gift, were you? No, I believe I was the one who gave the rose. So red roses are a symbol of my feelings. They're very precious to me. I gave you a rose as a gift. You plucked it from its stem and placed it into my hair. Am I remembering correctly? My memories are so vague now. Can't even remember the look on your face that day. There are some kids I'd like to give roses to myself. Who? My grandchildren. Oh my, you have grandchildren? Aye, though we haven't been in touch for some time. Last I saw them was 4 years ago, when my second grandchild was born. The sweetest girl in the world with lovely flaxen hair. Is she? She's not the sweetest. She's going to be a real beauty when she grows up, and a real fucking psycho. Anyway, they're wonderful kids, and one day I want to hand this garden over to them. Each and every rose containing my hope that they'll lead comfortable, healthy lives free of strife. I'm sure your wish will come to pass. Your grandchildren have wonderful lives. Aye. The grief of not having you around still weighs heavily on my mind. When I need more of a hint. But it was slowly approaching contentedness. Life with Hayden was slow and uneventful, peaceful and relaxing. I imagine my heart was seeking anything to alleviate its pain, and it found that in the beautifully remodeled mansion, the garden blooming wildly with roses, and my time with Hayden. In the beginning, I was even beginning to think that this life was enough for me, that I would be okay with this being the end, if it meant more of the tranquility I felt. I was like a coward considering giving up the fight. Please do forgive me for ever considering such a thing. Hayden seemed to be in high spirits that day. A gift had apparently arrived from his son who lived far away. It was a tea set, some leaves, and a small jar of sugar. I wonder if there are nap streams? Probably. Miss, how can I be of service, master? Brew me up a pot of this, would you? Be careful not to steep it for too long, if you want to get it just right for the best flavor. As you wish, master. You seem quite pleased. Puh! What should I be? A boy who shunned his old man for years sends him a paltry gift on a whim. I'm just entertaining his fancy. Hee hee. Tea's ready, master. Oh, what a wonderful smell. Tea and roses are life's best damn spices. Now let's see what the boy chose for me. If it's no good, I'll sure to write him an angry letter. He looks so happy. He must really love his family. It's a little bitter. Shall I brew another pot? No, it's not your fault. Must be something in the leaves. Would you like to add some sugar then? There's a small jar of it with the tea set. Now that's some bloody fine sugar he's procured. White as snow, it sparkles in the light. Chose it just for you, master. Bloody hell, what demon possessed him? Alright, give me 2 spoons then. Yes, master, here you are. Splendid. This is some exquisite tea. The sugar balances the bitterness of the leaves perfectly. I guess that boy does have some... Master? Is it poisoned? OMG, OMG, is it poison? You love being this guy? Master! The doctor! I need to find the doctor! Water! I'll get some water away, so please hang in there. Thanks to the quick treatment provided by his personal physician, Hayden survived, but he didn't make it out with much more than his life. He was permanently bedridden by the affair. Evidently the sugar I'd put in his tea had contained poison, which had done irreparable damage to his nerves and muscles. Most of his body was completely immobile, except for his left arm. I think I'm gonna save here.